years of Trump's personal tax returns and the returns for some of his businesses. On Sunday, White House Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney on Fox News Sunday vowed that Democrats will never see the returns. President Trump courting Jewish voters at a Las Vegas meeting of the Republican Jewish Coalition yesterday, reminding them of his decision to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
We got you something that you wanted. I can tell you, Sheldon and Miriam, that is the most important thing I think that's ever happened in their life. They love Israel.
He's talking about major GOP donors Sheldon and Miriam Adelson. Most Jewish voters support the Democratic Party, but the president believes that he can change that. There's an effort underway in the U.S. Senate to shore up trade ties with the U.K. as the nation wrestles with its departure from the European Union.
With the U.K. about to part ways with the EU,
there's enormous opportunity before us.
Senator Mike Lee says his resolution would affirm the U.K. as a key trading partner, and that, he says, would
preserve a unique and important alliance.
But not everybody agrees.
Reserving the right to object, Madam President.
Oregon Democrat Rod Wyden says more in-depth trade talks need to happen, but never will,
if the debates play out in a slapdash process.
Wyden accusing the U.K. of planning to impose unfair internet taxes on U.S. companies. Bob Agnew reporting.
American Airlines is extending by over a month its cancellations of about 90 daily flights as the troubled 737 MAX plane remains grounded by regulators. More on these stories at townhall.com.
With an outdated website and poor Google rankings, your competition is getting your potential customers. You need a marketing company who treats you like family. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we provide state-of-the-art websites, search engine optimization, and social media campaigns that work. Call me, Matt Buff, at 321-765-7710 and mention this ad to get your first month free. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we will make your website awesome again. We will make your social media work again. And yes, we will make your online marketing great again. Visit jjcmarketingsolutions.com or call 321-765-7710 today.
In a time when all seemed lost, a voice rose from the wilderness, a voice rooted in our unique form of government, a confident voice filled with hope and inspiration that grows louder and louder while articulating the truth for all to hear. It is the voice to be reckoned with. It is the American Adversaries Radio Show, featuring your host, political scholar and philosopher Christopher Hart, co-host South African American patriot Aubrey Kahn, News Talk divas Kathy Santabassino and Patricia Summerlin, and more. Now sit back and enjoy the American Adversaries.
We got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick your destiny, because you don't know us. You don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore.
He's the bad thing. Welcome back to the show, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You are listening to the American Adversaries on a Sunday evening here, coming to you from the Relax and Comfort Studios. That's right. We are presently live on 1520 WBZW. And of course, you can always access us. And I hope you have already downloaded the free Answer Orlando app into your smart devices, should you have them. Also, of course, your Alexa device, should you have that. And you can always listen to us at our website, AmericanAdversaries.com. And then there is also theanswerorlando.com. And indeed, we are up and sailing on the Titan Cave Cam. So you can see and hear us on our YouTube channel, which is American Adversaries on YouTube. And then also, of course, you can access that via our Facebook page. That's American Adversaries on Facebook. And once again, we want to thank all the great activity we're getting there. You folks, we appreciate that. Of course, Kathy Santabassino is in charge of our Facebook page, and she'll be in here in a little while. And, of course, our California Gorgeous Lady of Wrestling, fresh off her taping of her Dr. Phil appearance, is going to tell us all about that tonight. And Lair is going to be here. He will be late. He was at a fundraising event himself this evening. He'll tell us all about that when he gets here, and he has his closing comments ready to go. And, of course, we got the firm foundation of the American Adversaries here in person, live himself, one Aubrey Kahn. And you want to say hello?
Hello.
Sporting his Predators business club shirt here.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired today.
Yep. And I am the philosopher, political mad scientist Christopher Hart. Jeff Sinnis is on the bridge. 407-774-8255. You might have heard a remark or two that Aubrey and I were talking about right as the music was fading away there. Young Marcus, if you've been listening to our show during the week and on Mondays when we've had John Barrows on the show, you, of course, heard us talk about Marcus and the miraculous story of his life, which he is about a year old. Well, he's had a severe setback over the weekend, and we would like you folks to hold Marcus strongly in your prayers tonight, and, of course, his mother and grandmother, because this has been a truly wonderful story, and we would just like it to have as wonderful of an ending as possible. And I'm not predicting anything of the sort. I'm just simply saying he has had a serious setback, and we do want to be praying hard for Marcus and his family tonight. If you only listen on Sunday nights or are new to the show and aren't familiar with what I'm talking about, Marcus was going to be aborted. And because of the pleading and preaching, and because God moved his mother's heart on 2 occasions to walk away from the abortion center and seek help at Choices Women's Clinic, when they were able to provide her that help, they discovered that she had an extremely high blood pressure, and they immediately sent her to the hospital, who immediately admitted her and then performed an emergency C-section and saved both of their lives in the process. Had she gone through an abortion, it surely would have resulted in probably her death and certainly severe medical complications. And the grandmother, who had been encouraging the daughter to have the abortion, had a change in her heart as well. And the family was as one. And now they have a true trial once again on their hands. So please pray for Marcus and his mother and grandmother and their whole family, and John and everybody who's been working hard to save lives, and Marcus included. Okay. The Pastor's Masters is coming up a week from tomorrow. And if you are on your way to church right now, and you, of course, have pastors and assistant pastors there, please make sure they know about this event. It is, or if you are a pastor on the way or at home or whatever, if you're no longer active, but you are a retired pastor, assistant pastor, you are invited to the Pastor's Masters. It will be 1 week from tomorrow at the Heathrow Country Club. And this will be to show appreciation from the station to our local clergy folk. And you're all invited. And you go to theanswerorlando.com or WTLN.com. That's one of our sister stations here, 950 WTLN.com. And in either place, you can register for that event. It's not too late yet, but the clock is running down on you. And this is going to be a free event, as I said, for you pastors and assistant pastors. You get to play golf, round of golf with a lot of great folks, including a lot of former NFL football players, including Mike McBath. Reggie Branch is going to be there. Let me see who else is going to be there. I got the sheet of paper right here. Mike Riley is going to be there, and Mike's got a lot of interesting stories. He played at Oklahoma for Barry Switzer, and alongside he was a linebacker, so he played with the Boz and a number of other excellent football players. I can't find the list right now, but I got it here somewhere, so I'll find it eventually. Anyway, just go to theanswerorlando.com or WTLN.com to register for the Pastor's Masters. And, of course, the Professional Golf Tour Masters comes up this week. And do you know, does Gary Player still go there every year?
Oh, I doubt it. Gary's old now.
I know, but he's still around, isn't he? Pull up to the mic there.
I believe he's still alive. I can check for you.
Because, of course, Gary Player played in the Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus era. Mm-hmm. And it used to be that they would open the tournament with the initial drive, I think, off the first tee to kind of get things started. And then, of course, step aside for the pros to play. They did something new this year at the Masters. They had a women's amateur event last week, and it wrapped up actually yesterday, I believe. And a young lady who plays for Wake Forest, which is where Arnold Palmer played golf when he was in college, by the name of Jennifer Kupcher, won that tournament going away. And she evidently in the back end of the course, which is the tough part. The whole course evidently is very tough. I've, of course, never even seen it, but she tamed it pretty well. So I think she birdied like 4 or 5 of the last holes, and it was quite a performance. So you got something on Gary there?
Yeah, he's 83 years old.
Yeah.
He won 5 and 9 majors. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1974.
It's been that long since he's been in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Now, I remember when he used to play over here, and of course from South Africa, it's a long flight. He used to spend his time on the aircraft, not in a seat, but lying flat on the floor for his posture and to save his back.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, make a little bit of extra work for the stewardesses, or this.
Well, I mean, he wasn't very tall and he wasn't very wide, so you know.
Well, that's true. That's true. But he was very good at taking back the blade and putting the ball where he wanted it to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Indeed, he won a couple of Masters too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
In those of those 9 majors, and that's nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, Jack Nicklaus still holds the record with 18 majors. Tiger has, I'm pretty sure, 16, and then it drops way off. So for a man to have 9 majors, he's, I believe, in the top 5. So quite the golfer he was.
He was the only non-American to win a career Grand Slam,
which means he won all 4 of the
majors in 1 year,
including the Masters. Indeed, in 1 year. What a year that must have been for him. Huh. Okay, so the Masters 1 week from tomorrow. Another thing that is 1 week from tomorrow is tax deadline day. Now, we're going to get to Trump's taxes here in just a minute, but I want to remind you, if you have yet to do your taxes, not quite sure what to do because the forms are radically changed. Basically, you're going to be getting a lot of the same information, but on different forms. You want to make sure it's done right. You want to make sure that you're not going to get yourself in trouble or shortchange yourself. You need to have some professional help, and Larry Herring is the guy to talk to. Now, Larry's been doing this for decades. He's been located right over here in Winter Park, just off I-4 there, just off Lee Road and I-4. And he has been that same location for a long time. They also do financial planning. But, of course, right now, most people's financial planning includes doing their taxes. So if you need help, Larry is the man to call and talk to. 407-647-77 is his phone number, so very easy to remember. 407-647-7777. That's Larry Herring. It's not too late to call. And even if you don't get them done, or if you need especially if you need to get an extension or something, he can help you with that too. And then come back and follow through with the proper paperwork. But nonetheless, now is the time to call if you have not done your taxes. It means you're up again it. 407-647-7777 for Larry Herring. And we will be talking about the president's taxes because the Democrats think they got a way to get them now. So I want to get to that here in a few minutes. First, the president yesterday spoke to the Jewish Republican Coalition in Las Vegas on his way home from his trip to the southern border there in California. Did you catch any of the speech there?
I did.
What impressed you?
Well, everything he had to say, number one, was true. And he was pointing out about the economy. He was pointing out about the relationship with Israel and what he has done with Israel, how close their relationship has become, and I mean, the facts just speak for themselves, and that it was being carried on CBS News channel was quite surprising.
Indeed. Now, that wasn't their main network channel, but it was their news channel, which they do C-SPAN-like stuff. But you mentioned the economy, that he did tout the economy.
He did tout the economy. He touted unemployment.
Yep. And he does this on a regular basis. He didn't surprise you with any numbers or anything, did he?
No, nothing.
Yeah, right.
Nothing that we didn't know.
Right.
But he just reiterated the facts, and it's good because liberals, well, once their minds are made up, it's hard to confuse them with facts. But if you keep repeating it over and over and over again, they might start believing it.
Yeah. And here's one of the reasons, though, I wanted to focus on the fact that he touts the economic numbers. And as I said, he does this on a regular basis. If you actually listen to the man, rather than listen to other people who want to disparage him, tell you what he said, you actually listen for yourself. Like when he's on the White House lawn, going to or coming from Marine One, or wherever he's in the cabinet room, or he's in the Oval Office, and he allows the press in for a few questions. He almost always leads with economic news or weaves it into what he's talking about. Always. And there is no shortage of examples of President Trump touting the economic success that the United States has enjoyed under his leadership. And yet, you will hear endless criticism from the liberal media and from some, not just a few, but from some in the conservative media. He always steps on the good news about the economy with other stuff. Why doesn't he just focus on the economy? He is. They just don't want to talk about it, you see. And if he did just talk about the economy, the man is smart enough to know they would never air it. They would make a few passing comments. Today in the Oval Office, in front of a group of reporters, President Trump touted his economic success. And in other news, the Harry Mueller report has come out.
But you know what? If all he did was focus and talk about the economy like they say he should, they'd start complaining because all he does is talk about the economy. He never talks about anything else.
And that's why he talks about everything in spite of them. And so he understands that he's not going to get his message out through them. He has to get his message out over, around, and under them, right? And he's
pretty good at that.
And he does exactly that, right? It's like you stand in his way, he's going to find a way to get around you. And that's what he has done his entire life, and it hasn't changed. His whole life, ladies and gentlemen, has been to groom him for this moment. God groomed him his whole life for this moment. Have you ever felt that way in your life, that your whole life led to a certain thing, like maybe this radio show or something like that?
This radio show. Well,
look, because wherever you are, your life got you there, right? And he is president of the United States. So God had this path that he went down.
It was preordained
to get to be the president of the United States. God groomed him. And this is, and I want to take this up in the second hour, something that the liberals and a lot of others, once again, in the conservative media just don't get about President Trump's connection with Christians. Okay, the latest example is this guy, Pete Buttigieg, or whatever his name is, or as our friend Carl Jackson calls him, Booty.
Booty check.
Booty check, yeah. Buttigieg is, he's the latest to express his misunderstanding of the Christian connection with Donald Trump. But I just gave you a hint of what it grows from. But anyway, like I said, I'll get to that a little bit later on in the show. But to get back to this Jewish Republican coalition, he also continued his message about the border, and he did another comic routine where he was standing there mocking these people who come here, many of them gang members themselves, seeking asylum in our country. And he did this little sort of skit where you had one of these illegals speaking with a lawyer, and the lawyer telling him how to overcome our immigration system. And indeed, this, in fact, is how it's done, right? I mean, they have these, in essence, legal representatives who are telling them what to do because they're giving them legal advice on how to overcome our immigration laws.
And they send lawyers down to help them.
Well, and at this point, no, they don't need much help. I mean, it's sort of, common knowledge. You make it to the United States, you holler asylum. If you're from anywhere but Mexico, they got to let you stay. I mean, how much more complicated does the message have to be? They get it. It's very simple.
Well,
the only complicated part is how. Well, and that's where the Coyotes can help you out, and they're more than willing. As we talked about last week on last week's show, talked about that movie Border Incident, released in 1949, about human trafficking on the border, with Ricardo Montalban, by the way. So the issue is nowhere new, but the president's approach is. And then you had Mitt Romney on one of
bless his heart.
Wait till I tell you what he had the audacity to say this morning. All right, we'll have to take a break, though, and come back on the other side. You are listening to the American Adversaries on a Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour, live in the Relax and Comfort studios. And don't forget, if you mention American Adversaries, when you go to Relax and Comfort, you can still get 50% off of these fabulous, and I mean, you will love these things once you touch them, these bamboo sheet sets. And also, you can get 50% off of their essential oil pillows. And I hesitated because these things really relax you. We'll be right back with more of the American Adversaries. That's all at Relax and Comfort.
Folks, please help me welcome Jeff Barney and Images Auto Spa to our stable of sponsors. Some of the largest purchases we make are the vehicles we drive. It makes sense to protect them. That's where Images Auto Spa can help you, whether you're the driver on the go or the do-it-yourselfer. They utilize state-of-the-art auto care products and techniques coupled with years of experience to deliver you the best possible results for the interior and exterior of your vehicle or boat. You'll find them at 4707 East Colonial Drive or on 434 just north of 436. Visit imagesautospa.com. Mention the American Adversaries to get 15% off. imagesautospa.com.
Hey, Central Florida, Dave Ramsey here. When you need advice on your taxes and want to work with someone who has the heart of a teacher, you need to see Larry Herring, CPA. He's one of our tax-endorsed local providers, and he's ready to talk with you about all your income tax needs. Larry Herring will help you manage your taxes just like any other expense. Take it from me, Larry is your guy. 407-647-7777 or at herringcpa.com.
Attention pastors, pre-register now for the annual Pastors Masters, Monday, April 15th at beautiful Heathrow Country Club in Lake Marion. And this year you could play with past NFL stars, joining and giving back to the community through the Retired NFL Players Association. Former Bear player Paul Blair, along with Pastor Herky Walls, formerly with the Bucks and Predators, plus former NFL players like Mike McBath, Don Nottingham, Ricky Shaw, Reggie Branch, and others. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com. The food is free. The golf is free. It's all about treating you, our pastors, active or retired, to a day away as we focus in on ministry and fellowship. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com and play with past NFL stars. The 2019 Pastors Masters, April 15th at Heathrow.
Nearly everyone loves Italian food, but those people who love true, authentic Italian go to Cafe Positano. It's because owner and chef Pasquale Barba offers home-cooked food from his hometown, Positano, Italy. He is Italian. Local fresh items are combined with rare ingredients imported only from Italy, along with generations-old family recipes. Whether it's pizza or those delicious daily specials, taste for yourself at Cafe Positano, 4 miles west of I-4 on 436. 407-774-8080, the most authentic Italian food in Central Florida.
Fishing boats go out across the evening water.
smuggling guns and arms across the Spanish border.
All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you got the American Adversaries here live in the Relax and Comfort Studios on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. And thanks for tuning in. 407-774-8255 is the number. As I said, the president continued his case for the border over the weekend. On Friday, he came out with basically a new slogan, and that is the house is full. The joint is full.
Yeah.
The joint is a rocking, and there's don't come a knocking, right? So there's no more room. And as I said, the media is just having a field day with this because they think, that this is going to somehow hurt the president, politically speaking. And then they turn around and say, but he does this because it's good for him, politically speaking. So, okay. So, that's why the president is smarter than you, folks in the media. But he has also, as you said, really solidified his relationship with Israel. And that, of course, has resulted in support from certain Jewish groups, not all, but certain Jewish groups here in the United States. The more liberal Jewish groups still do not support the president.
Yeah, he mentioned that, and the crowd went wild.
Indeed. Indeed. And so, it's not like all he has to do is do something that benefits the security of Israel and all Jews are going to fall in line. It just doesn't work that way.
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
Well, as we've said on the show before, when it comes to liberals, they are liberals first. And then whatever else they claim to as an identification comes second to that. In other words, a Catholic liberal is liberal first, Catholic second. A Jewish liberal is actually liberal first, Jewish second. Just go right on down the line. And whatever else they are, that also comes second or follows their liberalism. Because when it comes right down to it, it is their liberalism, which is their religion. Okay, that is their system of beliefs that they form this culture around. And that's what a religion is.
It's going to be interesting to see how many Jewish people peel away from the Democrat Party now that you've got all these anti-Semitic Muslims in there and non-Muslims who are anti-Semitic, as well.
Right. Do you consider that Democrats have had anti-Christians in the party for some time? Do you think that they have?
Definitely.
Okay, so
it's
why
a little different?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why do you think it will be different?
Because the Jews are such a minority anyway.
Well, but once again, though, if they're liberals first and Jewish second, are they really going to stand firm? It is a test,
right?
Okay? So we'll see. We'll see what the answer is going to be. People like what's her the blabbermouth down there in South Florida. She got kicked out of the Wasserman Schultz. Okay, when Omar was shooting off her mouth, we didn't hear a whole lot out of her. You see, that would have been an opportunity for her to stand up and say, in a polite sort of way, that's not the way we do things here in the House of Representatives. She didn't necessarily have to make it an anti-Semitic thing, but it should have been.
What did Pelosi do?
Basically nothing. What they did was pass a watered-down resolution, which meant nothing. So, once again, they failed the test there. So we'll see going forward because the envelope is going to continue to be pushed. This anti-Semitic message is going to continue to be pushed. So we'll see if they pass or fail the test. I'm not betting a whole lot of money on them myself. All right. In the meantime, we do have to take another break. When we come back, I do want to get to the Democrats' desperate tax grab. All right. And you are listening to the American Adversaries. Once again, we are live tonight on 1520 WBZW, where you can find us every Sunday night if you like. By the way, the Rays are playing, and there is a chance they may get the game wrapped up before the show is over. Not a huge chance, but a chance. And if that happens, then at any moment, if we go back up on the big stick, which I guarantee you won't be for a while, but if it does happen, we will certainly let you know. We'll be right back.
So much older and wiser.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. American Airlines extending by over a month its cancellations of about 90 daily flights as the troubled 737 MAX plane remains grounded by regulators. American said Sunday it's extending the cancellations through June 5th from the earlier time frame of April 24. The airline acknowledged in a statement that the prolonged cancellations could bring disruption for some travelers. British Prime Minister Theresa May has admitted it's unlikely that Parliament will approve her withdrawal agreement for a fourth time round, while pro-Brexit conservatives are showing frustration at May's decision to seek the opposition party's help in finding a compromise Brexit agreement. The Trump administration preparing to designate Iran's Revolutionary Guard as a foreign terrorist organization, an unprecedented move. More details at srnnews.com.
If you've ever had a good massage, you know how it can relieve your stress, aches, and pains. You also know it can be expensive and take time out of your day. But it doesn't have to. At Relax and Comfort, you can get your own programmable massage chair for less than a cup of coffee per day. Quiet your body, clear your mind, and loosen your muscles in the comfort of your own home with the Brio massage chair from Relax and Comfort. The Brio is state-of-the-art, complete with foot rollers, back heat, zero gravity, and you can customize your massage or choose from 10 popular options. And while supplies last, you can save hundreds on selected models during the semi-annual floor model clearance sale. Remember to ask about no-interest finance options and mention the promo code American Adversaries to get 50% off Maloof bamboo bed linens or essential oil sleep pillows all month. Relax and Comfort is family-owned and operated and has locations in Winter Park, Windermere, Sanford, and the Villages. Visit relaxandcomfort.com or call 321-329-3118. Your true wealth is your health. Get your massage chair today. Relaxandcomfort.com, 321-329-3118. We here at the American Adversaries Radio Network are blessed to have great sponsors like Jerry and Janice Shepard, owners of Jerry's Mercedes-Benz Service Center. And if you have a Mercedes-Benz, you've been blessed to have them as your dealership alternative. With their professionalism and expertise and state-of-the-art technology and facilities, they provide the best of service at the best price. Now, if you have a BMW, you have the same opportunity to have that friendly and reliable and affordable alternative to your dealer. Just like Mercedes-Benz owners who have taken advantage of this option, you BMW owners have a real alternative to high dealer prices and impersonal service. Jerry's MB is located just off Alafaya Trail, just north of UCF. So take that BMW to Jerry's, where they treat you and your car like royalty. Visit them at jerrysmb.com or call 407-366-6499. That's 407-366-6499. Jerry's MB is a proud sponsor of the American Adversaries Radio Show.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
Hi, everyone. This is Sunny, the California girl from Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. We're all champions in the ring, including all the hottest guys on American Adversaries. Love ya.
Okay, of course, she'll be with us a little bit later on in the show. I am Christopher Hart, along with Aubrey Kahn. Jeff is on the bridge. 407-774-8255 is the number. Aubrey has a story that literally just came across the wire.
Yeah, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. She is expected to offer her resignation at a meeting at the White House today.
Yeah, according to CBS News, is Paula Reed, two quote unquote U.S. officials have told CBS News that Kirstjen Nielsen is meeting today with Trump at 5 p.m., which means either right now they're meeting as we spoke or just met or getting ready to meet, where she is, quote unquote, expected to resign. Now, that doesn't mean the president is going to accept it. And we also don't know if perhaps he asked for it. This is all we know so far. And once again, it's coming from CBS News. Newsweek has a little blurb out there, but they're not confirming the story.
Right.
So just for right now. But I mean, here we are talking about the whole border thing. And of course, here is perhaps some breaking news. At least that's what CBS is saying. Once again, that does not mean he will accept her resignation. And we'll be monitoring the news feeds to see if anything breaks across the wire while we're still on the air here tonight.
They think that this was being brought on by President Trump wanting to get tougher on illegal immigration.
And, of course, she has already been pretty doggone tough herself. Right. And this may be a part of a larger shakeup, CBS is speculating. So, once again, CBS News is saying two, quote unquote, government officials have told them that she is expected to resign tonight, or expected to resign. That once again does not mean he will accept her resignation, or of course, we don't even know if maybe he asked for her resignation. So a Sunday evening at 5 p.m. meeting at the White House. Seems a little unusual, but of course, this is the President Trump administration. So right. Welcome to Trump's America, you might say. I like it a whole lot better than Obama's America, though. I'll tell you that right now.
He keeps everyone on their toes.
I even like it better than George W. Bush's America, I have to say. All right. In the meantime, the Democrats are hounding him once again about his tax returns. They have a committee chairperson who oversees their government oversight is over the Treasury Department, tax laws, tax regulations, things of that nature. And so they have subpoenaed 6 years of President Trump's tax returns. And they are saying that they have a legislative authority to do this. And it is what's called as Statute 6103. And as Jay Sekulow correctly pointed out himself this morning on, I believe it was the ABC show, 6103 is a confidentiality act. It's there to actually prevent the wanton release of people's personal information that the government has on you, like, say, for instance, tax returns.
I wonder if they would use that law to prevent President Trump from exposing and releasing the names, phone numbers, addresses, and amounts that Congress has paid for its members' dalliances.
To have their sexual harassment and sexual assault cases handled
and paid for by the taxpayer.
Right. First of all, I don't know that he knows who they are,
but he could order that.
No, I don't know that he can. Once again, you have separation of powers. That is a legislative thing. They made that rule for themselves. They have the prerogative to do it. And in essence, it's none of his business. Just like things that he does, certain things that he does in the executive branch are none of their business. Now, he can demand it that they release it politically. He can make it, but he can't order them to. And it's a big difference. Okay.
Well,
all right. Now, but what they're trying to do is order him to release his tax returns. And they are quoting this 6103 statute in order to give them the authority to do it. Now, what 6103 does say is that this committee can obtain personal records of individuals as long as it is for a legitimate legislative purpose. Okay? Now, therein lies the twist. What is a legitimate legislative purpose? The Democrats would argue this is a legitimate legislative purpose. We want to find out if the president's a crook.
Overthrowing the president.
Well, basically, that's what they're right. Yeah. And the more legal interpretation that has been already acted on in a couple of cases has been legitimate legislative purpose would be something to the effect of they're considering tax legislation, they're considering certain changes in the tax laws, and they want to see how the current law works. And therefore, they would need to see some real returns, ostensibly, to be able to see how it currently works so that they know better how to change it to what they want it to be. That would be more a legitimate, because you see, they're actually talking about changing the law. That is a legitimate legislative purpose, to make and change laws. When it comes to President Trump, currently they are not doing that. Now, I suppose they could try to get around that by coming up and saying, well, we're considering a proposal which will require all presidential candidates going forward to release 10 years or whatever it is of tax records, and therefore now it is a legitimate legislative purpose. Nonetheless, this will find its way into the courts, and the courts will have to determine if this meets what they deem to be a quote-unquote legitimate legislative purpose. And by the way, there are a number of big-name Democrats who have not had their tax returns released, and that would include Nancy Pelosi, and I'm pretty sure it includes Chuck Schumer. And Bernie Sanders was pretty tight-fisted with his, although he's made an announcement today he's willing to release 10 years of his tax records, which I guess means he hasn't already done it. And there are others as well. And as the president and his legal team has pointed out, do you really want to get into this business? Because like what you just said, why not have the president turn around and start barking orders at them? And that's what you are indeed inviting. Yeah. Which is why you brought that point up. You are inviting that sort of tit for tat kind of thing.
Just remember, once bitten, revenge is sweet.
Right. And this is the kind of thing, of course, that actually got Nixon run out of town. It wasn't the burglary. It was the other stuff they found out about, right? The fact that he had been using the IRS against political enemies.
Like Obama.
Right. That's what got the Republicans to turn away from him, was those things.
But it didn't do anything for the Democrats when Obama was doing it through the IRS either.
No, because he didn't get caught at it. And of course, when the Democrats do it, the media is going to ignore it. So you're not going to have the political pressure to do anything about it. And of course, we brought it out. If anything, it resulted in President Trump getting elected. And well, I guess we'll have to take that. And I'll take that any day of the week. You know, this is politics in a lot of ways, as we said, like professional wrestling. It's also a game of chess, where sometimes you give up pieces to get pieces, and you just try to give up the lesser piece to get the bigger piece, right? Or not give up a piece and get a piece. So unfortunately, the Republicans are never very good at that sort of thing. They don't seem to think that way. But the Democrats darn sure do. And that's what gives them an edge where they shouldn't have it, because they don't have the argument. Like you said a while ago, they don't have facts on their side. So they have to rely on, shall we say, technique more than substance. And they're much better at technique. And Republicans are better at substance, but because they got no technique, nobody knows. Right. So it's, and that's where Trump came along. He's got technique, baby. He's got all kind of technique, right? So the Republicans need to have some of that neek rub off on them. We should get a t-shirt made up. Trump's got neek. People go, what's neek? N-I-Q-U-E. What's neek?
Neek, yeah.
Technique,
we are the
baby.
men from Neek.
Technique. That should be a word from the hood, right? Brother's got neek. Or you would give that nickname to a brother, you know. Neek. Hey, yeah. Neek.
Did you get your new MAGA hat?
No, I need to get me a new one.
You know what MAGA stands for, right?
Make America Great Again.
No.
What?
Mueller ain't got
Anything. There you go. That would be another good bumper sticker, too. All right, I have to talk McBath into a bumper sticker contest coming up here soon.
He'd win hands down. Look at all the you don't see the paint on his cards covered with bumper stickers.
That's what I mean. We would challenge our listeners to come up with them. So they're trying to push Trump into, and he's not going to release them. They're going to fight it. The attorney general will fight it. His personal attorneys will fight it. This will not come to fruition, certainly not before 2020.
It's another waste of taxpayer funding.
And if it doesn't come to fruition before 2020, it's not going to be worth a hill of beans after that for them politically. If they think they're going to impeach Trump in a second term, they are wrong. I do believe, as the Chinese feng shui predictors have said, their opportunity for impeachment has come and is rapidly going out the window. And they are going to have to find some other way to land this whale, which I don't think they're going to be able to do. In the meantime, we'll take another break. Come back. We got another, segment in this hour of the show, and then 2 more to go after that. And we certainly thank you for being here with us tonight for the American Adversaries Radio Show. Don't forget, tomorrow, 1 week until tax deadline day, Larry Herring's your man. 647-7777. That's 407-647-7777.
Don't miss Dennis Prager live Monday, May 6th at the Holy Land Experience for the launch of his brand new book, The Rational Bible, Genesis, God, Creation, and Destruction from Regnery Publishing. Get your tickets now at theanswerorlando.com.
Folks, please help me welcome Jeff Bonning and Images Auto Spa to our stable of sponsors. Some of the largest purchases we make are the vehicles we drive. It makes sense to protect them. That's where Images Auto Spa can help you, whether you're the driver on the go or the do-it-yourselfer. They utilize state-of-the-art auto care products and techniques coupled with years of experience to deliver you the best possible results for the interior and exterior of your vehicle or boat. You'll find them at 4707 East Colonial Drive or on 434 just north of 436. Visit imagesautospa.com. Mention the American Adversaries to get 15% off. imagesautospa.com.
Hi, Chris Hart here. You know, I always bring you the best companies that improve your life. Now, I want to introduce you to Dr. Ronald Trevisani of Lifetime Teeth Today, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon for over 20 years. If you need dental implants or oral surgery, this is the guy and this is the place to go. Receive the highest level of dental implant care from a trusted oral surgeon, and by the way, his patients love him.
I can eat everything, and I enjoy life much more. I really do. I don't have to worry about toothaches, fillings, or anything.
We had corn on the cob last night with a filet mignon. It made my toes curl up.
Dr. Trevisani, one office, one day, Lifetime Teeth Today. Multiple locations. Call 407-598-8141. Dr. Trevisani, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon. Show that smile again. Call 407-598-8141 today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that one of the biggest investments we'll make in life is the house we choose to make our home. So why make this investment without knowing exactly what you're getting into? That's where Aubrey Kahn of Firm Foundation Home Inspections comes in. He'll make sure that excitement over the purchase of a house or rental property or commercial property doesn't turn into a nightmare after you take the keys. To get the most thorough and complete inspection, go to orlandoshomeinspector.com or just call Aubrey Kahn at 321-624-0254. Don't roll the dice on your home purchase. Remember, call Aubrey Kahn at 321-624-0254.
Okay, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for tuning in on a Sunday evening and going the extra mile to find us on 1520, or have made sure that you can listen to us on your smart device, or new to go to our website, AmericanAdversaries.com. Of course, you watch and listen to us on our YouTube channel. In whichever way you're doing it tonight, we appreciate it, because once again, the Tampa Rays are playing in San Francisco, and so far they're having a pretty good season so far. They were in the standings this morning. They were first in their division, and the World Series champs Boston are last in that division. So maybe Tampa Bay can reverse their fortunes of here as of late when it comes to playoff baseball. Anyway, they're playing some pretty good ball right now, and they are presently playing on 1520 WBZ. I'm sorry, that's what we're on. Duh. No, they are on FM 105.5 and AM 660. All right, and we wish them well tonight. By the way, tomorrow you may have to find us here once again at 5 o'clock because they have, for the next 3 days, they'll be playing the Chicago White Sox, and start time will be 2:05. So it's a good chance we'll clip a little bit of our show anyway. So if you're wherever you're listening to us now, that's where you might want to start listening to us at least tomorrow night. But once again, if you have us on your smart device, you got it covered. You got it covered. All right. Once again, President Trump has it covered. His legal team seems to definitely have it covered. Rudy Giuliani was out this morning talking about, well, first of all, obviously the tax returns, and made basically the same points I just made. And also talking about the Mueller report, how much of it should be released, should all of it be released, or whatever. And you really don't hear any objections from too many Republicans, including the president himself, about releasing the full report, minus things like grand jury testimony and the like, which the law requires that it be protected. Just as I said, Congress has passed this 6103 as a confidentiality act. Well, when they wrote the special counsel law, they wrote confidentiality provisions in that as well. And just as they are trying to violate those provisions in 6103 to get their hands on Trump's tax returns, they are trying to violate those provisions in the special counsel law in order to get their hands on the full Mueller report. And the president, of course, he's leaving this up to the attorney general. By the way, the attorney general issued another letter to Congress over, I guess it came out Friday afternoon. The news of it came out over the weekend, in which he made it clear that the White House will not get a pre-screening, if you will. They will not get the report before Congress. They'll get it at the same time. And that he indeed will redact the things that he has by law to redact, and that Herr Mueller is helping him along with Rod Rosenstein, the two key figures in the investigation from the very start. They are the ones helping him do the redactions so as to try to quiet the complaints. He was, according to the Democrats, demanded that he release it by the 2nd, which would have been Tuesday past, and he wasn't going to do it. He didn't do it, and they threatened a subpoena. Well, the subpoena was authorized but never utilized, because the subpoena ain't worth a
hill of beans.
Right. And it's not worth the paper it's written on. So it's like getting a judgment against a broke person. Oh, great. You got a judgment, but you'll never get your money.
Yeah.
Right. So the point being, the attorney general will release it in his own time. And according to him, he was going to try to have it out by mid-April, which would be pretty much
next week or the week after.
But by the end of this week or the first of the following week, exactly. If not over next weekend. So it's right on schedule, and it will have the redactions in it. Now, Congress is demanding that they get to see in private the full report with the grand jury testimony. And Frogman Nadler, when pushed this morning by Margaret Brennan, who got to know if she's the daughter-in-law of John Brennan. They can't be, in Washington, D.C., there's no coincidences like that. Once again, it's a swamp. It's a cult. It's an incestuous cult where they all marrying into one another and stuff like this. So anyway, Margaret Brennan actually pushed him a little bit and said, can you guarantee and that the full report, details of it, which shouldn't be leaked, wouldn't be leaked? And he kind of, well, we just, certain things, we might find their way out. So, no, he could not make the guarantee. And this is why the attorney general is going to resist Congress, even the ranking members of these committees, from seeing the unredacted version of the report. And if they don't like it, it's tough. Once again, they passed this law. Nadler was one of the ones who was there way back when they passed the special counsel law. And it was to negate the special prosecutor procedure, which had been implemented through Nixon and through Ken Starr. And by the way, also with Patrick, what's his name? That did the George W. Bush thing. Anyway, nonetheless, it was Democrats that pushed for this legislation to be passed so that they could protect their own, what rhymes with past. Okay. They wanted to protect their own, think of something that rhymes with past. Okay. Without the T. So, well, now it's protecting the people that it should protect. And that is that people who won't be charged, innocent people, and people who gave testimony under the assumption to a grand jury that it would remain private unless they chose themselves to reveal it. Now, people who testify in front of a grand jury, they can come out and say what they testified. They just can't say anything about any other testimony that was revealed to them. And if they do, they face contempt charges and go to jail, which is why most people who testify in front of grand juries just keep their freaking mouths shut. So it is a situation where the Democrats, once again, I was texting back and forth with Carl Jackson a while back, and he was talking about the hypocrisy of some of the current Democratic members of Congress. And I said, look, hypocrisy in politics are bedfellows. They're always standing side by side. If you're looking for a situation where you're not going to find hypocrisy in politics, well, you're going to be looking at a very short period of time, because over time, just about every politician turns out to be in some form or another a hypocrite, because a situation is sure to come around where the tables are turned on them. And that's where the Democrats find themselves now. And it's kind of comical to see, but it is also problematic when it comes to, so it is, once again, problematic. So the Democrats won't get, I don't think, from Barr without a fight that'll go all the way to the Supreme Court what they're looking for. And all they're doing is setting themselves up for another defeat to President Trump. And it will be a defeat that will have been made by their own hands years prior. And I tell you, what's the old saying about revenge? It's best served what? Cold. It's best served cold. And there is revenge that is being had on the Democrats right now. So we should sit back and enjoy it. All right. And I hope you're sitting back and enjoying the show. And of course, our dear friend Rick Brown just texted me. He's listening on 105.5 on the radio app, on the TuneIn radio app. So you can even go to TuneIn and tune us in on 105.5. Thank you, Rick, for that. By the way, I want to congratulate Rick and the British Car Club, because they put on a great show yesterday. It was the first of the 35th annual, but the first in a number of years at a new venue up in Winter Springs at the Central Winds Park. And it's a beautiful venue for that.
Unfortunately, I couldn't make it.
Yeah, well, a lot of people did. And there were 140 something cars there and great looking automobiles. I saw a couple of Lotuses I'd like to get behind the wheel of. And it was a hoot. It was a lot of fun. And this is, once again, it's a great venue. They had a great turnout. And of course, anytime you change a venue, you got to wonder, how's things going to go? But it did, and they pulled it off. So once again, congratulations to Rick Brown, who, by the way, is fixing to celebrate 15 years anniversary, a 15-year anniversary for owning and operating Tijuana Flats here in Central Florida. So he's going to have a special party for that coming up in May that we're going to be telling you more about. Okay. A lot of fun things over the next couple of years here as we approach the election, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to make sure you are in on it. All right. Thank you for being in on tonight's show. We will take another break. Come back. We got an hour in, 2 hours to go of our Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour.
News, opinion, passion. FM 105.5, AM 660. The Answer. WORL. Altamont Springs, Orlando. A service of Salem Media Group. It's 6 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Gordon Griffin. American Airlines extending by over a month its cancellations of about 90 daily flights as the troubled 737 MAX plane remains grounded by regulators. American said Sunday it's extending the cancellations through June 5th from the earlier time frame of April 24th. The airline acknowledged in a statement that the prolonged cancellations could bring disruption for some travelers. Rwanda marked the 25th anniversary of the start of the country's genocide as the nation continues to grapple with the lasting consequences of the mass killings. Here's correspondent Karen Chamas.
President Paul Kagame and First Lady Jeanette Kagame laid wreaths and lit a flame at the mass burial ground of 250,000 victims at the Kigali Genocide Memorial Center in the capital, Kigali. Speaking at the ceremony, the president spoke out to the survivors of the genocide.
Your resilience and bravery represent the triumph of the Rwandan character in its purest form.
Those attending the ceremonies included the leaders of Chad, Republic of Congo, Djibouti, Niger, Belgium, Canada, Ethiopia, as well as the African Union and the European Union. French President Emmanuel Macron expressed solidarity with the Rwandan people, remarking that April the 7th should become a day of commemoration of the genocide of the Tutsis. I'm Karen Chamas.
President Trump rallied the Republican Jewish Coalition at its annual meeting in Las Vegas, taking a jab at the controversial Democratic lawmaker who has thrown her party into chaos.
And a special thanks to Representative Omar of Minnesota. Oh, I forgot. She doesn't like Israel. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
With an outdated website and poor Google rankings, your competition is getting your potential customers. You need a marketing company who treats you like family. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we provide state-of-the-art websites, search engine optimization, and social media campaigns that work. Call me, Matt Buff, at 321-765-7710 and mention this ad to get your first month free. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we will make your website awesome again. We will make your social media work again. And yes, we will make your online marketing great again. Visit jjcmarketingsolutions.com or call 321-765-7710 today.
In a time when all seemed lost, a voice rose from the wilderness, a voice rooted in our unique form of government. A confident voice filled with hope and inspiration that grows louder and louder while articulating the truth for all to hear.
It is the voice to be reckoned with. It is the American Adversaries Radio Show,
featuring your host, political scholar and philosopher Christopher Hart, co-host South African American patriot Aubrey Kahn,
News Talk divas Kathy Santomassino and Patricia Summerlin, and more. Now sit back and enjoy the American Adversaries.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick your destiny, because you don't know us. You don't belong. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. No way.
All right, welcome to hour number 2 of the American Adversaries Radio Show on our Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of in, Kathy Santomassino is now in the studio with us.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. We also have, of course, Aubrey Kahn, the firm foundation of the American Adversaries, along with myself.
Munching on cookies that Diane rolled.
Yes, these are so delicious, Diane. If you're out there listening, thank you.
Thank you.
And they did make their way to Aubrey, miraculously enough.
Yeah, I put on a few pounds in the last few days because of her.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to do it. Anyway, 407-774-8255 is the number. Okay, in the last hour, if you were listening, you might have heard us report that CBS News was reporting that Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen was scheduled to meet with President Trump today at 5 p.m. to and evidently it has been confirmed now by Fox. Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is resigning. Now, it is being reported by John Roberts for Fox News. CBS News was reporting that she would be expected to submit her resignation. As we were just now going on the air, as I was getting ready to say, Fox was reporting that she was going there to discuss her quote-unquote future with the president. Fox is now, however, reporting within seconds they have changed the lead to DH Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is resigning. So that is, of course, obviously going to be big news. The liberal media is going to have a field day speculating about what that means. Aubrey, you had a little bit more to that story earlier, didn't you? Pull up the mic there.
It was all very non-committal because it was all speculation, as you said. They didn't know if she was being asked to resign by Trump. They didn't know if Trump would accept it. And it was all because, apparently, of Trump's new stance of getting tougher on border security and illegal immigration.
Evidently, if that thinking holds true, she wasn't being tough enough.
Yeah.
She was pretty darn tough.
Yeah, indeed.
There were
compared to
implications.
others.
There were implications 6 weeks ago that she was going to tender her resignation. It's just now formalized. I think there were discussions. I think what really caused this whole thing to kind of come to a head is the last 2 weeks. I mean, she has done nothing to address this constant influx of illegals. I mean, she keeps saying, well, we need more border patrol agents and this and that. And I think Trump's very black and white about it. He wants to close the borders and put sanctions on these South American countries. But she's like very non-committal or wishy-washy, I think. She's not as strong and decisive as Trump is.
No, but
and I think
she hasn't got his
be,
authority. The authority he has in her hands are tied to a certain degree.
But she can make recommendations.
Well, I think she did, but who's to know?
Well, part of it, too, may be that he just made this trip to the southern border out there. He's been meeting with agents who are on the border, and the head of ICE, which is underneath her, the head of Customs and Border is underneath her.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that he has in mind to elevate one of them because she was not from the Department of Homeland Security. If you remember, she was John Kelly's assistant, and he brought her in when he was the head of the DHS.
Yes, right.
Okay. So her history really was with General Kelly, and she was good, though. And Kelly, that was one thing, evidently, where he did agree solidly with the president.
Right.
And it was on immigration policy.
Right.
And I think perhaps the president is trying to sort of a combination of what the two of you were saying. He doesn't think that she's presenting the right image, the strength of what you're talking about, Kathy. And
I think Homan, the ex-ICE director, would make a great Homeland Security chief. He's hard on this whole border issue. On her watch, we've had more illegals coming over the border.
Yeah, but we've had more illegals coming up from South America in the last 3 months than have been during the entire Obama era.
Right.
Well,
but she has some responsibility for that, obviously.
Why?
Well,
she can't stop them coming up, but
she needs
but it's
stopgap measures.
Well, and it's all about how effectively can you make the president's case
right
for him. I mean, cabinet secretaries they're administrators, but they're also, in a great sense, because it is a political appointment, and they are there to carry out the president's policies. They also must be salespeople of those policies. Mm-hmm. They must be able to represent them effectively, not only in front of the media, but obviously in front of Congress. And perhaps, as Kathy is saying, he's looking for somebody like this fella Homan.
Tom Homan. He's phenomenal.
And you spell that Homan. It's not.
And he was
right.
ICE director, I believe, under Obama. And he was there for, I believe, the last 4 years of his administration, wasn't he?
Well, he was a career man. I mean, he was there. He had been there under numerous administrations, if I'm not mistaken. And
but he's hardcore.
And I believe, evidently, that Nielsen out. CPB, that is, once again, Customs Border Patrol Commissioner, has now been announced. Kevin McAleenan is in.
Kevin McLennan.
I bet we're pronouncing it wrong.
McAleenan. Let me spell it for you.
McAleenan.
Yeah, there you go. McAleenan. McAleenan or McAleenan or something to that effect.
I believe they were probably in talks for several weeks.
Right. So
this isn't sudden.
Right. So there is not going to be much of a transition. Wait to see who he's going to appoint. He is now appointed so that this person, Kevin McAleenan, is going to have to undergo the confirmation process, but he can be appointed as the interim, I'm pretty sure. But nonetheless, this has happened just now. Once again, all the news is breaking literally as we're speaking. So Kirstjen Nielsen is out at Department of Homeland Security, and Customs Border Patrol Commissioner Kevin McAleenan is in as acting DHS secretary.
Acting doesn't mean it's a permanent position either. He's probably interim chief. They'll probably bring in someone like, I hope, Tom Homan. I think he's great.
Well, and one of the things that this gentleman has said is that he's not afraid to use tear gas. He believes that tear gas would be an important tool.
I like it.
With border security.
So in other words, he is prepared to make a tougher stance.
Seems that way.
And acting, I don't think acting means anything to President Trump. As he has said before,
Right.
His chief of staff is still the acting chief of staff.
Right. It could be interim. We don't know. Trump.
Bottom line is, though, it meets the qualifications of what you were talking about, Kathy. And that is that this guy is much tougher than Kirstjen Nielsen could be in that position. And
I hate to say this, but women, when it comes to mothers and babies, are a little softer. This whole issue that we're breaking up families, maybe she wasn't as rigid and looked at it more from a safety issue as she did from a maybe domestic issue. You don't want to break up families, but women tend to be much more empathetic towards a situation like that. And I don't think that translates well when you're trying to protect a border.
But you have to separate children from other criminals.
That's what I'm saying. But maybe she was more soft or not as strict about that policy. Separation might have been an issue for her. Politically, she might have had some problems with Trump's policies because she is a woman. We do think differently than men, okay?
Yeah.
That could have been a problem.
Okay. Let me read a couple of tweets that the president just let out 10 minutes ago, now 11 minutes ago, and I will quote the president. Secretary of Homeland Security Kirstjen Nielsen will be leaving her position, and I would like to thank her for her service. And then he tweets this. I am pleased to announce that Kevin McAleenan, or however you say it, the current U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, will become acting secretary for Department of Homeland Security. I have confidence that Kevin will do a great job. So it is official. The president has himself indeed announced it. This is not so terribly unusual. She has served as the Homeland Security chief for, I think, about 2 years now, because it was about that long ago that General Kelly left to become the chief of staff at the White House. And the president is obviously staking out a tougher position. And he made that known over the weekend when he said that we're full. We're not going to take any more. We can't take any more. And as Kathy has noted, whether you can put it at her feet or not, the facts do show that over the last several months, the explosion in illegals being apprehended is unmistakable in terms of its severity. And as we reported last week, And I'm a little surprised that Trump didn't appoint Jay Johnson as his new Department of Homeland Security, who was he was the political appointee by Obama, who last week said by any standard, and he said by any standard, there is a crisis on the border.
Yes, he did. And it's not as though he was a big, how should we say, mover and shaker in the political world previously.
Because he had to implement Obama's policy.
Exactly.
But in that same interview, he also said the first thing that he would do every day when he came to the office was he wanted to see the reports, some of the apprehensions the day before. And he said if it was less than 1,000, he felt like it was a decent day. If it was more than 1,000, it was going to be a bad day. But every day, he said he would see these numbers knowing that over a year's time, you're talking hundreds of thousands of people here illegally.
Well, we're talking 1.5 million this year.
Yeah.
It could
We're
be.
on track to be at least 1 million this year.
And that's why I think the president is doing,
insanity.
and that's why I think he's doing what he's doing. I think this guy, Kevin McLennan, or however you say his name, is going to come in there and he's going to implement. He's going to, I believe, you mentioned the personnel. I think he's going to redeploy and he's going to come up with a way to hold back this tidal wave of humanity coming here
maybe
illegally.
More of a militaristic approach as opposed to a humanity approach.
Well, I don't want to characterize it as that. I'm sure that's the way the liberals are going to put it.
Could be, but
I mean that.
Let's put it. Let's say a more effective.
Yeah, and that means using force if you have to.
Well,
I mean, it doesn't mean killing anybody, granted, but the tear gas. Having a more of a military approach to securing our borders.
We'll see.
That kind of thing.
If President Trump had asked her to resign, I think one of the reasons might have been that once all the detention centers were filled, instead of stopping them from coming in, she had them let the people go from the detention centers.
But that's not, as you were alluding to earlier yourself, that is out of her hands.
Yeah.
That's not something that she can do.
Choice.
I think this has to do with the president wants to show that he is upping the ante. And the way that you demonstrate that is, well, first of all, in his language, in his rhetoric, which he has done over the weekend, and then a shakeup in the leadership. And as we were predicting, he within minutes confirmed, as Kathy was saying, as we said, he went for somebody who is from the department, who has the experience, who knows how things work, what doesn't work, that if you did this differently, it would be more effective.
Exactly.
Things that she couldn't know.
It's about strategizing too. I mean, it's sort of like we're at war with these illegals because we're trying to keep our country sovereign. The only way you can do that is you have to have delineated borders. And there are gaps. Obviously, there's walls, but they've been breached. They're not secure. And Trump wants to build borders, but there's certain areas where there's mountainous regions that you can't build a border. But
please, of course you can.
But you can have
she's talking
other
about
defense mechanisms.
Where there are mountains and you don't need a fence. There are certain
there's no
areas,
way people are going to scale these mountains. They're impossible. But you can have other mechanisms, right, Chris?
You know, the Chinese said that too, and then they built a wall.
Well, there are certain areas, but there are places where they didn't have to build a wall. I mean, there are certain areas that it's not necessary. But as Trump has been saying, and as these people said Friday, when he was at the border there at Calexico or wherever that is, that they need more people, they need more technology, and they need more wall. It's not a matter of one. It's a matter of all of them.
A lot of moving parts.
Right. And we said early on in this debate, President Trump is not about either or. It's either the technology or a wall. He's about both and. It is technology and a wall and the personnel. It's a three-pronged approach where you strengthen everything you do, not just one or the other. And the Democrats want to, it's like a two-legged stool. How comfortable is it to sit on a two-legged stool? The thing eventually is going to topple over with you because you're going to be too tired to balance it. You need three legs. And the three legs for this stool is people, technology, and wall. And that's what I think this guy understands. So Once again, the breaking news, Kristen Nielsen is out at Department of Homeland Security. A fellow by the name of Kevin McAleenan is in. He has currently been the Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner. So it's a guy who knows his stuff.
He's been on the front lines.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back, you're listening to the American Adversaries Radio Show. We are here. We are live. And thank you for tuning in.
Attention pastors. Pre-register now for the annual Pastors Masters, Monday, April 15th at beautiful Heathrow Country Club in Lake Mary. And this year you could play with past NFL stars, joining and giving back to the community through the Retired NFL Players Association. Former Bear player Paul Blair, along with Pastor Herky Walls, formerly with the Bucks and Predators, plus former NFL players like Mike McBath, Don Nottingham, Ricky Shaw, Reggie Branch, and others. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com. The food is free. The golf is free. It's all about treating you, our pastors, active or retired, to a day away as we focus in on ministry and fellowship. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com and play with past NFL stars. The 2019 Pastors Masters, April 15th at Heathrow.
Folks, please help me welcome Jeff Bonning and Images Auto Spa to our stable of sponsors. Some of the largest purchases we make are the vehicles we drive. It makes sense to protect them. That's where Images Auto Spa can help you, whether you're the driver on the go or the do-it-yourselfer. They utilize state-of-the-art auto care products and techniques coupled with years of experience to deliver you the best possible results for the interior and exterior of your vehicle or boat. You'll find them at 4707 East Colonial Drive or on 434 just north of 436. Visit imagesautospa.com. Mention the American Adversaries to get 15% off. imagesautospa.com.
Marilee here from Vacation Travel Planners, a member of Cruise Planners with the latest vacation deals.
Like Bahama cruises from $249 per person. Or how about a 7-night Alaska cruise from $649 per person? On Celebrity Cruises, book a balcony or higher on a 7-night select Caribbean, Europe, or Alaska sailings and receive specialty dinner for two. Get free prepaid gratuities on select sailings with Oceanic Cruises. Sandals and Beaches all-inclusive resorts are up to 65% off. Get free prepaid gratuities on select Avalon Waterways River Cruises.
Give us a call at 321-251-4777. That's 321-251-4777. Or visit us at vacationtravelplanners.com. Keep listening to the American Adversaries for new travel specials every week. Bon voyage!
Nearly everyone loves Italian food, but those people who love true, authentic Italian go to Cafe Positano. It's because owner and chef Pasquale Barba offers home-cooked food from his hometown, Positano, Italy. He is Italian. Local fresh items are combined with rare ingredients imported only from Italy, along with generations-old family recipes. Whether it's pizza or those delicious daily specials, taste for yourself at Cafe Positano, 4 miles west of I-4 on 436. 407-774-8080. The most authentic Italian food in Central Florida.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
All right, if you're out there rolling down the road, I hope you got us tuned in on 1520 WBZW or on your smart device. All right, once again, thanks for tuning in. Do have some breaking news for you tonight, which is not so unusual on our Sunday night show. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen has resigned, and she is being replaced by Kevin McAleenan, is how I'm going to pronounce him until we know differently. McAleenan has currently been the commissioner of the Customs and Border Patrol Agency, which was, of course, underneath. This would have been one of her lieutenants, and now she's out, and he is in, quote unquote, as acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary, and promises to take a tougher stance than Kirstjen Nielsen did. Once again, however, he has also got much more experience in the department that he will be able to bring to the problem as well. The issue is brought us to this point. The president has put pressure on Mexico, and this week they did show some signs of getting the message from the president that he will take drastic action if necessary. And so they have started to be a little bit more vigilant on their own southern border as to wantonly, freely allowing these folks to come in just to pass through their country to get to the United States. So the president is making his words into actions, you might say, and that is what we have seen here tonight. Meanwhile, the former vice president, Joe Biden, has put some of his words into action over the weekend, too, because he has seemed to have made his problem with women and his, shall we say, his affection toward them worse. He was speaking yesterday at an event as well, and it was to be sort of, a Biden love fest of sorts, because the Democrats, the establishment Democrats, are in a quandary. On the one hand, they know that the excitement in the party, the real excitement in the party, is with these younger candidates and to a big extent with Bernie Sanders. But when you look at the poll numbers, a lot of people are thinking that Joe Biden is the safe bet. And so they're in this quandary because on the one hand, they would kind of like Joe Biden as the candidate, but on the other hand, they know that the energy is not with him, and so it would be an uphill climb just to get their own party excited about him. And then you have this business with the touching. And everybody's going out of their way to point out that this was not the same kind of touching that, can be considered sexual harassment and all of this stuff. Although for months we have been told now by the Me Too movement, this is the very kind of thing that would qualify as that.
But only if you're a conservative.
Right. So for as long as Republicans were doing it, the motivation was assumed to be bad, whether it was or not. With Biden, why? That's just good old Joe. So the assumption is his motivation isn't bad.
So is he going to be holding a fundraiser with the Me Too movement as a group session?
I'm sure he would like to. But yesterday he was giving an address, and I guess he was having someone come up on stage with him. I did not see the whole address, so I'm working from clips that I've seen. And he made this joke, and oh, by the way, I've already approved it with so-and-so that I'm allowed to hug him.
Wasn't he a little kid?
I think it was. And and so that didn't go over with the Me Too people. And the people, he's not taking this seriously. He doesn't understand really what's going on here. And to a certain extent, they're right. Because old Joe is old Joe. He doesn't understand all this Me Too nonsense business, right? So he doesn't know how to respond to it. He did his little Twitter thing, which Trump parodied very effectively. And of course, Kathy put that on our Twitter page, right? I mean, our Facebook page, with Biden, sniffing himself.
Body double.
Yeah. And then he went out and was asked about it out in the street as he was getting in his car afterwards. Did you really mean to do that? When are you really going to apologize? And he was like, well, I'm not going to apologize. I don't think there's anything to apologize for. I haven't done anything wrong in my own mind. So
he's got a mind.
He's out of it, I think, but he just keeps digging himself in deeper on this.
There's a montage of his videos.
Right.
And it's not the sniffing, it's not the touching, it's
Actual
the
him.
lip on lip contact that has me concerned.
Yeah.
Where he had like on the mouth embraces some women old enough to be his mother.
Right.
It was kind of distasteful, but
Right.
kind of creepy.
But that's what he would say to defend himself. I'd do it to everybody. All right, we got to take a break. We're halfway to go. Our Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour. Got a lot of great stuff for you. Once again, the Rays are playing on the big stick, but if we happen to go back up there, we'll let you know.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. President Donald Trump says Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen leaving her job amid growing frustration by the administration over the number of southern border crossings. The president said in a tweet that U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McClellan will become the acting head of the sprawling department of 240,000 people. The Trump administration preparing to designate Iran's Revolutionary Guard as a foreign terrorist organization in an unprecedented move. U.S. officials say that an announcement is expected Monday. The move would be the first such designation by any U.S. administration of any entire foreign government entity, although portions of the Guard have been targeted before. American Airlines extending by over a month its cancellations of about 90 daily flights as the troubled 737 MAX plane remains grounded. This is SRN News.
Do you or someone you love have difficulty getting in and out of bed? Are you worried about falling? Then visit Relax and Comfort and see the all-new My Freedom Lift Bed. It's the perfect marriage of a lift chair with an adjustable bed. The My Freedom Lift Bed can sit you up and stand you up without assistance from others. With the touch of a button, it'll position you for easy transfer to a scooter or a wheelchair, or touch another button and enjoy a soothing massage, or have it stand you fully upright. The My Freedom Lift Bed is tax exempt with a doctor's prescription, and in-home setup is available nationwide. And you'll only find it at Relax and Comfort. Ask about the special no-interest financing options and mention promo code American Adversaries to get 50% off Maloof bamboo bed linens or essential oil sleep pillows. Relax and Comfort is family-owned and operated and has locations in Winter Park, Windermere, Sanford, and the Villages. Visit relaxandcomfort.com or call 321-329-3118. Guarantee your independence with the My Freedom Lift Bed. Relaxandcomfort.com, 321-329-3118.
Attention HR managers and business owners. If you're not screening your new hires, you're asking for trouble. Hi, I'm Kathy Santamacino with ASAP Programs. Negligent hiring is on the rise and can be an employer's worst nightmare, leading to litigation and legal costs that could cripple your business. The average cost of settling a negligent hiring lawsuit is nearly $1 million, with the largest claim on record at $26 million. With Applicant 360 screening solutions, you will be able to perform comprehensive background checks quickly and discreetly, allowing you to properly vet incoming talent. Whether your organization is big or small, it's your responsibility to safeguard your workplace and protect your customers. Don't base your hiring decisions on a first impression and a resume. Call me today at 407-702-9511. Call 407-702-9511.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida, NMLS 171699, and is an equal housing lender.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs
right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Will somebody let Hillary Clinton out?
Son of a gun.
All right. Once again, thanks for being in listening to the show tonight. All right, do have Kathy Santomassino in the studio with Aubrey Kahn and myself, Christopher Hart. Jeff is on the bridge, 407-774-8255. The number. Kirsten Nielsen, if you're just tuning in, is out as Department of Homeland Security chairperson or
Director.
Yeah, Director of Department of Homeland Security. And Kevin McAleenan is in as Acting Director of Homeland Security. And according to Fox News, John Roberts McAleenan has close, and he appears, they're showing him now in a video of him, and he appears to be a fairly young person, probably 40 years oldish, I guess. And he evidently has worked closely with the Pentagon. And evidently, we do know that the president has already ordered troops on a couple of occasions to the border. That may be in the works for the near future as well. And being that he will be acting secretary, there will not be any confirmation hearings scheduled in the near future. If the president goes on to appoint him as the official secretary, then there will be confirmation hearings, and we'll see how long it goes with the acting status. I don't think the president has any problems, any qualms at all about letting him retain the title of acting secretary and just letting it go at that. But we'll see. Once again, that breaking news. Meanwhile, we were talking about, I think we'll maybe start calling him Joke Biden. Joe Biden has put the joke on himself, and he has got a very tenuous hold on the lead in the Democratic primary. I say tenuous because, first of all, he hasn't even actually committed himself yet. So we have no numbers on the money that he might be raising. We do know, and this was reported by liberal news sources, that big money donors have told him don't be counting on them. So if he's raising any money at all, it's a mystery. And he doesn't have to report that until he actually gets in. And which is one reason why he may be staying out. And then he may come to his senses and just stay out for good. In the meantime, the second place is Bernie Sanders, and we know his story. And then third place is you got Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren. I'm sorry, not Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris and Bobby O'Rourke. Third and fourth, and then then it's a drop off to Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, and others. But a name has been moving up, and the liberals have taken him in as their most recent darling. And he was on he was on NBC's show this morning, and we're talking about this guy Pete Buttigieg, or however you pronounce his last name, Buttigieg or whatever. He is this young 37-year-old mayor from what's the city he's the mayor of? It's not a real big city.
Isn't it Indiana?
Well, it's in Indiana, yeah, and I forget the name of the city. Anyway, it's not a huge city. He has run for statewide elections before, and he got lost. He lost, but he is a what I'll characterize as a soft-spoken version of the modern condescending liberal. Okay. Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Klobuchar, these others are more in your face condescension, right? You're a bunch of idiots. Right. They're abrasive. You're a bunch of idiots. If you support Trump, Trump's an idiot and all this other stuff. Okay. This guy comes across much more, shall we say, civilly.
Like Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, exactly. Soft-spoken. He's got the same
polite.
Yeah, he's got the same shtick sort of as Jim Jordan, where he's always with a white shirt, buttoned up, nice tie and everything, but no jacket. And as Kathy said, he comes across as very polite, kind of soft-spoken, easy, and he's photogenic. In a lot of ways, he passes the casting call that the Democrats are looking for, right? But when you get right down to it, he's the same old thing as all of them. He's just in a different package. But if you listen to him, you will find that he is every bit as liberal. Turns out his father was a communist. I mean,
Interesting.
we're not talking about, some guy calls himself a communist because he doesn't even know really what he's talking about. I'm talking about a guy who studied and was a Marxist scholar, a Marxist philosopher himself, the man's father.
Well, the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree.
No. But of course, he is a version of his father, but sort of in disguise. And I'll take one phrase that he mentioned this morning because he was asked, "Are you a capitalist?" this morning. Nobody's asked him about his father yet that I know of. Now, the details have come out about his father, but not because anybody's asked him about his father and what he believes about what his father believes in. But he was talking this morning. He was asked by Chucky Boy Todd, "Are you a capitalist?" And I'm paraphrasing it, but that's basically the way he put it. And old Pete goes, "Well, I'm all about free markets and everything, but we have to have controls on it and all this stuff." And then here comes in the socialist language, right? He says we need to have what he called democratic capitalism. Okay, sounds good, doesn't it? Democratic capitalism. Wow, democracy. We all like democracy, and yeah, capitalism is good. So let's put the two together and have democratic capitalism, ladies and gentlemen. Democratic capitalism has another name. Do either one of you guys want to take it?
I sure do.
What is it?
Socialism.
There you go. Give the lady a cookie.
I already had enough things. I'd rather have a dollar bill.
Would we all? But yeah, indeed. It is another name for socialism. Socialism.
An even playing field. As long as the government's in control.
Well, that's where the Democrat part comes in. See, this is democracy, Soviet Union style. Okay. The Soviet Constitution, guess what? Guaranteed everybody a right to vote. Okay. Women, men, black, white, Muslim, Russian, whatever. You were guaranteed by the Soviet Union the right to vote. What you were not guaranteed is a real choice.
Or that your vote would count.
Well, no, your vote counted, right? But you were voting for a communist.
You were voting for a dictator in most cases.
Right. And if you didn't get out and vote, guess what? They would take notice. So
like Chavez.
Right. Yeah, you got to
it's sort of an oxymoron.
Indeed, you got to understand that democratic socialism means democratic capitalism means putting socialist principles on capitalism, which is to move it away from capitalism into the realm of socialism. Because socialism under Marx didn't do away with industry and technology and all the things that we associate with capitalism. He wasn't going to close car factories. He wasn't going to close washing machine factories. What he was going to do is take them over.
Yeah.
And that's where the Democrat part comes in. Democratic capitalism means the quote unquote people take over the business world. Well, who represents the people? The government.
The government.
Which is right.
Well, look at Venezuela, how well that worked, right?
Right. But they have elections down there, don't they? Right. Right. Well, we see.
And they also, not only do they tax your business, they tell your business what it's supposed to look like.
Well,
and the kind of illusion about socialism is, and this is where the young people need to get their heads out of the sand and face up to it. Socialism doesn't mean a free society. It means a society that's handcuffed. We cannot have the freedom to make decisions about our business, about how many kids we can have. Look at China.
Yeah,
you were allowed 1.5 children.
Well, that's right.
And that's socialism in its true form.
Well, that is even a little bit further, but you're absolutely right, more towards communism, but that is definitely socialism. And handcuffed is a good way to put it, because what it does is democratic capitalism means it takes the decision-making away from the boards or boardrooms and CEOs and puts it in the hands of the government. And we've already heard ideas along the lines of, was it California is getting ready to pass a law? I think it's already passed through the Senate out there or something, where they're going to require a certain number of women to be on the board of directors of corporations that are based or formed in California. That is, quote unquote, democratic capitalism.
It is.
Where they're requiring, and it's not merit based. Now,
no, it's quota based.
Just like the EEOC with the colleges, same concept.
Right. And women are doing just fine. Women, there are more women in college right now than men. When they come out of college, they make as much, if not more than men.
I demand equality. We've got to have the same number of men in college as we do have women.
That's it. It may eventually come to that. And I've known this since I was in graduate school back in 1990 or 91, and this has been the case ever since, and it's been the case for a lot longer since back then. Women can make an argument, whether it's accurate or not. They can make the argument that they are not paid as much as men. The argument that they cannot make, because the facts prove, and they're easy to find, that women control the vast majority of wealth in the world. Now, somehow, by making less money than men, they have ended up controlling a lot more of it.
You know why?
So maybe we shouldn't pay them equal and they'll control all of it.
You know why?
Because of divorce.
There's a simple answer to that.
There are a couple of answers.
We love to shop.
It more has to do with what Aubrey mentioned. It comes down to divorce. It comes down to incentives that minority-owned businesses can get advantages. Right. And it also comes down to the fact that women tend to outlive men. And so they end up with whatever the man had when he dies. And that accumulates.
Well, a lot of women, too, if they're heads of households, they make all the buying decisions.
Well, but what I'm saying is making the buying decision is different from actually being in control of wealth independent of men. And that's what I'm saying.
They don't have husbands, so they're earning the money.
Well,
they're managing their financial budgets and they're buying things.
Yeah. So, but to get back to Buttigieg, that this democratic capitalism nonsense, which sounds real nice, especially when it's coming from such a sweet-looking young fellow, is really socialism in disguise. There's no other way to describe it. And it is, I said, democracy, Russia, USSR style. And this whole democratic platform, as a matter of fact, you can take from the the Soviet Union Constitution. Guaranteed a livable wage, guaranteed health care as rights. These were written into their Constitution as rights. This is why they thought their Constitution was better than ours. It didn't work out, did it?
Do you know there's socialism, but we don't even know about it? But I think after the break, I'd like to talk about how socialism is here, but we don't recognize it as socialism.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're pointing it out. But if you want to say that we've already gone down the road towards socialism and the policies that we are already implementing, you're right. But that's why we elected President Trump. That's why he's making the changes that he's making. And that's why he's coming up against the resistance that he's coming up against, because there are socialists in both parties, sad to say. And in the Republican Party, they normally call themselves globalists. But what that really means is they are a version of socialism, whether they really understand it or not, because what they are saying is that higher authority comes from the government, not from the people. And that's where they make their mistake. The highest authority, of course, comes from God. But when it comes to the authority of how we live our lives, that should be primarily in the hands of the people, not the government. But we do have to take a break because we're in the hands of the clock and can't get away from that rascal. So when we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Don't forget, we're closing out this hour, but still got another hour to go with the American Adversaries Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour.
Don't miss Dennis Prager live Monday, May 6th at the Holy Land Experience for the launch of his brand new book, The Rational Bible, Genesis, God, Creation, and Destruction from Regnery Publishing. Get your tickets now at theanswerorlando.com. Attention pastors, pre-register now for the annual Pastors Masters, Monday, April 15th at beautiful Heathrow Country Club in Lake Mary. And this year you could play with past NFL stars, joining and giving back to the community through the Retired NFL Players Association. Former Bear player Paul Blair, along with Pastor Herky Walls, formerly with the Bucks and Predators, plus former NFL players like Mike McBath, Don Nottingham, Ricky Shaw, Reggie Branch, and others. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com. The food is free. The golf is free. It's all about treating you, our pastors, active or retired, to a day away as we focus in on ministry and fellowship. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com and play with past NFL stars. The 2019 Pastors Masters, April 15th at Heathrow.
Folks, please help me welcome Jeff Bonning and Images Auto Spa to our stable of sponsors. Some of the largest purchases we make are the vehicles we drive. It makes sense to protect them. That's where Images Auto Spa can help you, whether you're the driver on the go or the do-it-yourselfer. They utilize state-of-the-art auto care products and techniques coupled with years of experience to deliver you the best possible results for the interior and exterior of your vehicle or boat. You'll find them at 4707 East Colonial Drive or on 434 just north of 436. Visit imagesautospa.com. Mention the American Adversaries to get 15% off. imagesautospa.com.
Hi, Chris Hart here. You know, I always bring you the best companies that improve your life. Now, I want to introduce you to Dr. Ronald Trevisani of Lifetime Teeth Today, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon for over 20 years. If you need dental implants or oral surgery, this is the guy and this is the place to go. Receive the highest level of dental implant care from a trusted oral surgeon, and by the way, his patients love him.
I can eat everything, and I enjoy life much more. I really do. I don't have to worry about toothaches, fillings, or anything.
We had corn on the cob last night with a filet mignon. It made my toes curl up.
Dr. Trevisani, one office, one day, Lifetime Teeth Today. Multiple locations. Call 407-598-8141. Dr. Trevisani, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon. Show that smile again. Call 407-598-8141 today.
Well, you've heard the horror stories. The couple comes home from shopping.
Oh my gosh, there's water pouring out of the ceiling fan in the living room. Henry, quick, grab a bucket.
My new wood floors, they're ruined. Gosh, I wish we had this home inspected before we signed on the dotted line.
This is Aubrey Kahn of Firm Foundation Home Inspections. Buying a home is the biggest investment you'll make. You have to know what you're getting into. Henry and June now have a nightmare on their hands. Don't let that happen to you. Call Firm Foundation Home Inspections before you sign on the dotted line. We'll inspect the property from roof to foundation with the latest technology to know if there are any leaks or electrical problems. You'll get a detailed report, and at Firm Foundation, we warranty our work, ensuring your peace of mind.
Don't make that big investment without calling the home inspector that more realtors use. Firm Foundation Home Inspections. Call 321-624-0254 or go online to orlandoshomeinspector.com.
All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, you got us, the American Adversaries, here live tonight. We really do appreciate it. Okay, the president once again has asked for, or however, has accepted the resignation of Department of Homeland Security Chief Kirstjen Nielsen and has appointed as acting director Kevin McAlennan, and he has up till now currently been the Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner. So big change at Department of Homeland Security as President Trump continues to push for more, shall we say, aggressive measures on the border to stop this influx of people coming into this country, you know, making false claims and trafficking human beings and the like.
What are we going to do, Chris, with the ones that have breached security and are out in the general population? Has there been any discussion about reining these people in? Because they're out there. We don't know who they are. It's kind of scary if you think about it.
Well, that's what ICE is. That's primarily what ICE does. And they, of course, need the cooperation oftentimes of local government officials, namely sheriffs and police departments and prosecutors and mayors, which they don't get in many places of the country. And even though many places aren't, quote, officially sanctuary cities, they function much like they are. And you find out if you, question the sheriffs and the police chiefs. For instance, here in Central Florida, under Jerry Demings, we don't have a sanctuary city status, but under Jerry Demings, he had, he was the sheriff. And he thought that, we shouldn't be cooperating with ICE in certain situations. So you may not, by word have a sanctuary city, but by fact, you actually might. And of course, that makes ICE's job much more difficult, but that's what they try to do.
Yeah, whether they cooperate or not, they make it a political issue instead of a safety issue.
And then you had in, I believe it was Allen, Texas. You had a town in Texas this past week on Tuesday or Wednesday. ICE raided this building where they did kind of like refresh computers. They took old electronic equipment and refurbished it. And they rounded up over 200 illegals that were working there.
Wow. Fantastic. Deport each and every one of them.
Now, to my knowledge, and I haven't been over to David Levitt's place here recently, but I have been there on numerous occasions. I've never seen.
He does not use illegals.
Right. And so you can't tell me that Texans wouldn't have taken those jobs. And now they're going to actually have to find some Texans to take those jobs because ICE has run the illegals off. But you're right. They're out there. ICE is trying to round them up. They do a great job with what they have.
Though, if they're not, are they being processed before they go into the general population or what? What if they have no ID? We don't know who they are.
That's the whole point, Kathy, is that these people are allowed to roam free within our country, and it is up to ICE then to try to track them down. That's why they need the help of local authorities. And when they don't get it, bad things happen.
They get told to report for a hearing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to return to a courthouse for a hearing to get told I'm being deported if I do that. So why would I go back to there?
Right. See, if everybody showed up for their hearings and did everything right, we wouldn't need ICE. Right. But they don't.
Tell them that they just won the lottery. Right. They'll be there.
The Democrats say they want to do away with ICE. And even old Buttigieg, he talked in a nice way about how he wants to get rid of ICE because it doesn't matter what you call it. It matters what they do. But duh. That's the whole point of getting rid of ICE, you idiot, is because of what they do. Don't try to tell me in a nice way so I don't understand what you're talking about.
But, apparently Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, even before she was elected, she would get upset when people asked for more ICE.
Never enough in the bin.
You mean when she was a bartender, right?
Right. But no, you want if you want to stop all this illegal immigration, you get tough. You round up those illegals that are here now, and you deport them all.
Once again, that's what ICE is trying to do. But the problem is, let's say tomorrow they round up 500. Well, you got 1,000 come in.
I've got a
so
great
are they
idea.
getting ahead of the game or are they falling behind? See, this is the problem. You have to stop the influx of human beings.
Yes.
It's not a matter of getting tough. It's a matter of being effective. Go ahead.
I've got a great solution.
Well, we need to hear
We've got
it.
all those Boeing Max 737s that are grounded. Let's put their sorry butts on all those grounded Max 737s and send them back to Mexico.
If they make it
I
great,
guarantee you, we'll put them back into service tomorrow.
It would, we'd be able to haul a few out. But once again, that's the part of the problem is more are coming in now than they can round up in a day and get out.
That's true.
And then you have the problem also to compound it of finding them to round them up and get them out.
And then you have the other problem. You have the babies being born.
Well,
and now we have populating illegals that now have children who are naturalized citizens.
No, because they're illegal. That does not.
The parents are, but the kids
that
aren't.
does not necessarily make them American citizens just because they're born here.
Okay, well that's an argument, but her point is correct that it complicates the problem.
Yes,
and you pointed out earlier before we went on the show that there's what did they call it on CBS News that they're using children as
they're recycling them.
Recycling children in order to get illegals,
into the country.
In other words, the children will come here with the illegal, then they'll
be
sneak the
claimed
child.
that the parents, they come into the country, the children get sent out and come in again.
So they're actually sneaking children back out of the country so that they can sneak them back in again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're being used. They're being used as tools.
All figured out.
It's like there was a TV show once when there was this prisoner, he would escape out. It wasn't, I guess maybe Hogan's Heroes. They would escape back into the prison. Anyway, make your point because we got to go to a hard break.
There's what we need to do, and I agree with the Democrats. We do not separate families.
Send them
we
all
round
out.
up all illegals and their children that were born here, and we deport them all.
All right. Okay, in the meantime, we got to go into a break and come back on the other side. Sunny's going to join us, tell us about her great adventure on Dr. Phil, which will air next month. We'll be right back.
News, opinion, passion. FM 105.5, AM 660. The Answer. WORL. Altamont Springs, Orlando. A service of Salem Media Group. It's 7 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Gordon Griffin. President Donald Trump says Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is leaving her job. The president said in a tweet on Sunday that U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan will become the acting head of the sprawling department of 240,000 people. Capitol Hill correspondent Bob Agnew reports Democrats are hot under the collar over a rules change that will speed up the confirmation process for the president's nominees in the Senate.
Democrat Dick Durbin of Illinois accusing the Republicans of rushing the confirmation process
by limiting the debate time on nominations.
Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma says Democrats demanded more time even after the nominees were vetted by the White House, the FBI, and Congress.
For President Obama in his first 2 years, that happened a total of 12 times.
Even fewer under previous administrations.
But on President Trump, it happened a total of 128 times.
The new rules designed to win confirmation for dozens of Trump nominees still waiting in the wings. Bob Agnew reporting.
The United States says it has temporarily withdrawn some of its forces from Libya due to deteriorating security conditions. Pullout comes as a Libyan commander's forces advanced toward the capital, Tripoli, and clashed with rival militias. Berlin housing activists lead a campaign to fight rising rents.
Low-cost housing advocates are launching a grassroots campaign to force Berlin's state government into taking over nearly 250,000 apartments worth billions from corporate owners to fight rising rents in one of Germany's hottest real estate markets. The fight pits two philosophies against one another: free market companies that see real estate as a means to profit, and housing activists who see affordable rent not only as a necessity, but as central Berlin's character.
Correspondent Ron DeRockster. Law enforcement agencies and ride-hailing companies intensifying efforts to educate passengers about safety following the slaying of a University of South Carolina student. More on these stories at townhall.com.
With an outdated website and poor Google rankings, your competition is getting your potential customers. You need a marketing company who treats you like family. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we provide state-of-the-art websites, search engine optimization, and social media campaigns that work. Call me, Matt Buff, at 321-765-7710 and mention this ad to get your first month free. At JJC Marketing Solutions, we will make your website awesome again. We will make your social media work again. And yes, we will make your online marketing great again. Visit jjcmarketingsolutions.com or call 321-765-7710 today.
In a time when all seemed lost, a voice rose from the wilderness, a voice rooted in our unique form of government, a confident voice filled with hope and inspiration that grows louder and louder while articulating the truth for all to hear. It is the voice to be reckoned with. It is the American Adversaries Radio Show, featuring your host, political scholar and philosopher Christopher Hart, co-host South African-American patriot Aubrey Kahn, News Talk divas Kathy Santapacino and Patricia Summerlin, and more. Now, sit back and enjoy the American Adversaries.
We've got the right to choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it. This is our life. This is our song. We'll fight the powers that be just. Don't pick your destiny, because you don't know us. You don't belong. We're not gonna take it.
All right, welcome back for hour number 3 of the American Adversary Sunday evening 3-hour classic tour. And the president's not going to take it anymore. He doesn't want to take all these illegals coming to our country anymore. So out of that frustration, there has been a change at the Department of Homeland Security. Kirstjen Nielsen is out as effective immediately, is my understanding. And Kevin McAleenan, the current commissioner of the Customs and Border Patrol, is now acting director of the Department of Homeland Security, which is a change that is surely to mean the president is going to up the, shall we say, the efforts on the border to stop this influx of illegals. And for a lot of people, that is a relief. The Democrats didn't like Kirstjen Nielsen because they thought that she was too much of a Trump acolyte. And evidently the president was a little frustrated with her as well because it is her department, as Kathy noted, and this huge influx of illegals has occurred under her watch. Whether she could have done much about it or not is for debate, but the fact of the matter is that it did happen and it has been happening, and the president wants it to stop happening, and there was no indication that she was going to be able to do anything to bring that about. Obviously, the hope is Kevin McAleenan will be able to do that. That is the breaking news of the evening. We are here live in the Relax and Comfort Studios. Kathy Santomassino, Aubrey Kahn, and myself, Christopher Hart. Jeff is on the bridge. 407-774-8255 is the number. And it is now time to go to California and talk to our gorgeous lady of wrestling and find out about her great adventure earlier this week on the taping of the Dr. Phil show. Sunny, Patricia Summerlin. How you doing tonight, Sunny?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Kathy said she was telling me about something she saw on Facebook.
Yeah, I was on your Facebook page, Sunny, and you and Dr. Phil and Robin, and your wrestling belt that you had was almost bigger than Robin's head.
It was great. The Dr. Phil show, they did a whole, I think I mentioned this on the last segment, they did a whole story on my past life as far as a wrestler and loving the sun. My character is Sunny, and the segment I did was Robin's skincare, which is amazing. So I was on the show with both of them, and it was pretty cool. I went to Paramount Studios. I got spoiled, and they put me up in a really nice hotel, a very expensive room. I got the car, chauffeured to the studios, and I didn't have to expend anything. It was nice. Wardrobe, makeup. It felt good again to be back in that type of life again. And it was fun to do the segment. They're super, super nice people. And the film crew, the production crew, and a shout out to Stephen Howard, who's a good friend of mine now, and he's one of the production, I guess one of the head production guys for Dr. Phil. So, and by the way, I learned something new, that Dr. Phil used to wrestle.
Oh, kidding.
And, right? And it's going to air. When it airs, I will post the airing date, which I think it's next month, but she mentions it. Robin goes, well, Sonny, I've got something to tell you and the audience that nobody probably knows, that here, Mr. Phil, she goes, my husband was a wrestler.
That's
so
amazing.
I think it was probably collegiate,
Probably, yeah.
But he goes, honey, that was years ago.
When he had hair.
Yeah, I was going to wonder, was there any challenges issued there between you and he, right?
I know. Well, he did mention they did throw out a couple headlock things and stuff. It was really, really a good segment, and they showed my backstory, like I said, and at my daughter's house. They did probably a 5-hour interview, and it was condensed down to probably 15-minute segment. But hey, I mean, that was a good one. And then not only that, they don't take pictures with people, so I was blessed to get pictures with them and my belt, and it was like a really fast thing. And the studio guys had to run up to the wardrobe room and grab my belt and bring it down, and Robin turns around and looks at me. She goes, by the way, I love you guys. She goes, I love Glow. And then she did say Glow Netflix, which is fine.
Yep.
You know. But she goes, can I wear the belt? And I go, sure. So I'm putting it on her and I'm snapping it as they're taking the pictures. It was a lot of fun.
Indeed, it was. I bet. And as you said, ladies and gentlemen, she'll let us know. So we'll make sure we put it out all over our social media and, of course, on the show when the particular show itself will air. Now, that's shot in front of a live audience, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. And the exciting thing is the live audience were really awesome. And they also get a year's supply of her wonderful skincare product as well as I. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, tell us a little bit about the products. What is it supposed to be? A moisturizing, anti-aging?
Everything. It, again, we're older women, so it would be for brown spots and, wrinkles or whatever you have. But it's a regimen of 8 different products. So, I haven't as yet got it, so I will let you know. And I'll have to share when I go to Florida. I'll bring some for you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Now tell us about that, because I understand you're actually coming to Orlando.
I am. I'm actually appearing in Jacksonville at the RiverCon Comic-Con. So I'm really excited to do that. And from there, I think it's RiverCon, but it'll be posted. They're announcing me on Monday.
Okay.
There's so many there. Kelly, Jake the Snake, Brian Blair.
Right.
Right. The crew, as I call them. And I look forward to seeing them again. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then from there, I'm going to Orlando to see you guys. And then I'm going from there to another, I don't have the city in front of me, where my half-sister lives. So I'm going to make one into the other. I'm flying into Alabama. And from Alabama, I'm going to, Pensacola.
Okay. All right.
And I'm visiting friends in Pensacola. And from Pensacola, coming back around and going towards you guys to visit you guys. And hopefully I'll be in on Sunday so I can go in studio live. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Because the Comic-Con's for one day, which is on Saturday.
Right. Well, that'd be a big treat for all of us.
And I'm going to have my comic books too. So
that's right. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
And also look for me on Good Day LA. I'm doing Good Day LA out here, which is, a California station, I believe. But I get New York, so I don't know if you guys get LA as well. But I'll be doing that with Roxy Astor and the Afterglow. And
awesome.
then I will be discussing my comic book on that show as well. And some other good things, other appearances between now and then. There's so many I can't even keep track right now. I have to write them all down. Otherwise, it's a blessing, and I'm very excited to do it all. So.
Well, Doc. Now, did Dr. Phil's producers give you a reason as to why they chose you to do this segment? Is it because you're known as Sunny, the California Gorgeous Lady of Wrestling?
Yes, that's one of the main reasons. And it kind of goes with the sun and what the sun can do as far as skin damage and things like that.
But
it's a great promotion for her skincare line and definitely for me. Roxy Astor, one of the other Glow Girls, did a segment, but she did not go on as a Glow Girl. They can't allow 2 Glow Girls. But with her, they put her on as a housewife, mother of 3, and a hairstylist.
Okay. All right.
So, and they didn't do a back segment with her. It was just that.
Right.
So I was pretty.
Well, I guess the reason I asked that question is because, of course, WrestleMania is literally going on now as we speak. I think the starts at 7, doesn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, we had some results already.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Here, I don't believe it.
But, the main event tonight is going to be a triple threat match between Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and it's Becky Lynch, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah.
Becky Lynch. First time ever, the women wrestlers are headlining a WrestleMania event. And I was just wondering if perhaps the producers were aware of this and aware of this sort of upsurge in women wrestlers, professional wrestlers.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that the women have made headways now. And for this to happen, it's a big movement. And we're really excited about it. Like I was telling Jeff, unfortunately, I'm not so much involved in watching it anymore because I've been involved in that all my life, it seems like. And then also, critiquing SmackDown for so many years and having to watch it every Friday, I kind of got burnt out on it.
Right.
But I'll catch little clips of it here and there, and all the exciting stuff at like the Hall of Fame. I caught that with the attack
What
on
about
Bret
that?
Hart
Yeah.
and Natalia. Yeah, Natalia. So that was crazy for that guy. I got to tell you, there's just some dumb people out there. That's not a place to go and try to attack somebody. And one of the wrestlers for sure.
All I can say is that he's lucky that everybody, the security and everybody sort of rushed the ring, because if that guy had been left in there alone with Bret Hart, I don't think he would have been so happy about what he tried to do and upset that ceremony.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was doomed, boy. Especially Harry Smith. That guy.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
He got some punches in. They all kind of did.
Yeah, they
like,
did.
okay,
Yeah.
I guess he was a glutton.
But
he wanted to get hurt.
Yeah, but if old Brett had locked in, what was that thing called? The
sharpshooter.
The sharpshooter. If he'd have locked him into sharpshooter there for a little while.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Fu was there at the WrestleCon. There was many people. I think Hollywood was there. I couldn't make it. But it was a great turnout there. And Fu and the 350 Days, the movie, the documentary, is now everywhere. So you can get it on Amazon, Spectrum, you can buy it anywhere now. It's booming. So I do see this going, very exciting. And he's very, very happy.
Well,
and he deserves it because it's a great documentary.
Well,
it tells the story,
Right. Well, certainly you deserve the attention that you're getting on the Dr. Phil show, and we're definitely going to be looking forward to it. And the pictures that we did see on Facebook looked like it was a delightful day for you and a special day. So we're happy for you.
Thank you. Yes, it was really, really awesome. I really enjoyed it, and more to come. Let's see what happens. Now we've got a wrestling reunion, the Cauliflower Alley Club here coming up in 2 weeks. I'm leaving Saturday. So I look forward to that and seeing everybody there and all the inductees as well. Mark Henry and several others will be, together, eating at the same table and having a good old time.
Is Kamala going to be there? Kamala?
Yes. I believe he's introducing Mark Henry.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. I saw a tweet by Brian Blair that said, and by the way, do you know what Kamala's last name is?
Harris.
Yeah.
And I think I'd vote for this Kamala Harris before I'd vote for the other Kamala Harris in a heartbeat.
Right? I know.
Right.
That'll be, you know what, though? I look forward to going to Florida and finally getting out there after all this time. Because I was telling everyone, in fact, Brian Blair, I look forward to seeing him each and every time, and he's going to be there as well. So we'll not only get to see each other, but work together there at the Comic-Con, and hopefully there'll be more tours. But I get to go see you guys finally in studio after all these years.
All right. And we expect you to be wrestling or wearing one of your wrestling outfits when you come in.
Oh, well, I don't know about
that. Kathy just smacked me on the arm for saying that. But anyway, no, we'll definitely,
Kathy.
We will definitely be
well,
looking.
I may wear my wrestling boots just for that.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't want to get kicked with one of those. It hurts.
All right. Well, we're going to be definitely looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be going to dinner afterwards. So we'll make a big evening of it. So in the meantime, you have a great week. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you next week.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it. Thank you. And see you all. Have a wonderful, blessed, sunny day.
You too.
You too. Stay safe.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And we'll take a break and come back. And guess what? It's time for Sunday's Odd Stories with Kathy Santomassino. And Lair Adams has entered the studio.
Late, but I made it.
Clutching his closing remarks. Plus, he's going to tell us what he was doing here today. All right. We'll be right back.
Folks, please help me welcome Jeff Bonning and Images Auto Spa to our stable of sponsors. Some of the largest purchases we make are the vehicles we drive. It makes sense to protect them. That's where Images Auto Spa can help you, whether you're the driver on the go or the do-it-yourselfer. They utilize state-of-the-art auto care products and techniques coupled with years of experience to deliver you the best possible results for the interior and exterior of your vehicle or boat. You'll find them at 4707 East Colonial Drive or on 434 just north of 436. Visit imagesautospa.com. Mention the American Adversaries to get 15% off. imagesautospa.com.
Marilee here from Vacation Travel Planners, a member of Cruise Planners with the latest vacation deals.
Like Bahama cruises from $249 per person. Or how about a 7-night Alaska cruise from $649 per person? On Celebrity Cruises, book a balcony or higher on a 7-night select Caribbean, Europe, or Alaska sailings and receive specialty dinner for 2. Get free prepaid gratuities on select sailings with Oceanic Cruises. Sandals and Beaches all-inclusive resorts are up to 65% off. Get free prepaid gratuities on select Avalon Waterways River Cruises.
Give us a call at 321-251-4777. That's 321-251-4777. Or visit us at vacationtravelplanners.com. Keep listening to the American Adversaries for new travel specials every week. Bon voyage!
Nearly everyone loves Italian food. But those people who love true, authentic Italian go to Cafe Positano. It's because owner and chef Pasquale Barba offers home-cooked food from his hometown, Positano, Italy. He is Italian. Local fresh items are combined with rare ingredients imported only from Italy, along with generations-old family recipes. Whether it's pizza or those delicious daily specials, taste for yourself at Cafe Positano, 4 miles west of I-4 on 436. 407-774-8080. The most authentic Italian food in Central Florida.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
All right, you are listening to the American Adversaries. Once again, proof that we are the voice to be reckoned with, Titans of Talk Radio. Just last week, during her Odd Stories segment, Kathy Santomassino revealed that Twilight Zone is now got their own new show out.
It is coming back.
Guess what everybody was talking about during the week? The Twilight Zone is coming back.
Of course, that's because you heard it first on
the
SOS News.
American Adversaries. There you go. And it is now time for this week's version.
Well, a snorkeler in Florida was caught on camera in a surprising situation when a wild manatee swam up to her and gave her a big hug. The woman posted a video to Facebook showing what happened during her unusual manatee encounter in the Crystal River. That's where the manatees congregate during the winter. It's getting a little warm down there now. But Florida law bars anyone from intentionally disturbing, molesting, or otherwise annoying manatees. So, Joe Biden, if you're out there, you need to take note here. But I think this woman should get a T-shirt that says, I hugged a manatee.
Larry goes down there all the time.
We've been there for many years. I have scratched the backs of many manatees. They love it. I have a big problem with people who think, because they're wild animals, you shouldn't interact with them. Nobody I know that interacts with manatees is going to get in their speedboat and speed off and drive over their backs with their powerful speedboat that they know is in the manatee zone. People but
you're not supposed to actually disturb them, meaning touching them, taking photos with them.
The story indicates so the manatees actually approach the human beings.
They will.
That's why
Absolutely.
she was not going to be cited because the manatee came to her.
Right. And
as opposed to her going to the manatee.
And that's not unusual. That's the usual. That's the norm.
They're mammals.
They're
hot-blooded creatures.
Right. They are mermaids.
I've scratched their backs and swam away and had them come back and bump me for more.
Seals are the
because
same.
they want you to scratch their backs. They grow algae on their backs.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Well, a Dominican singer performed for 106 consecutive hours to break a Guinness World Record, but officials said, guess what? You're disqualified. Carlos Silver, who unsuccessfully attempted the same record back in 2016, attempted to beat the record of 105 hours of consecutive singing. Can you imagine this? Well, Silver's total, which involved more than 5,000 songs, surpassed the previous record holders, but Guinness officials said he failed to follow the rules set in place for the record. You know what the rules were? Well, singers are allowed to break a break of up to 30 seconds between each song, but video evidence shows Silver taking breaks of up to 2 minutes, which disqualified him.
Well, you got to hit the head sometime, right?
Yeah, but what stops you from singing while you? There's nothing that stops you singing while you're at the bathroom.
Oh, I guess.
Then we have the Guinness World Record for the week,
which
is okay. Keep it clean, which is awarded to a 50-foot tall decoration erected in the Brazilian town of Pomerode that has been dubbed the world's largest decorated Easter egg. Guinness said Pomerode's welded steel egg covered in foam and resin impregnated canvas measures 49 feet, 3 inches tall, and 26 feet, 7 inches in diameter. The egg was created over the course of about 48 hours for the town's annual Osterfest event, which coincides with Easter, which is on April the 21st. Pomerode is a town colonized by German immigrants who brought the tradition of painting eggshells for Easter, which was done by cooking eggs with herbal dyes and water. That's how it originated. And in case you're wondering, the practice of decorating eggs and giving them as gifts was adopted by Christians and included in their Easter celebrations.
Right. They adopted a pagan
festival. It was a pagan festival of Festivus.
Well, police in California are working to track down a man who stole a chainsaw from a Fresno hardware store by shoving it into his pants. I don't know if this guy was really skinny or really fat, but the theft took place last Wednesday afternoon and was captured on the store security cameras. The footage showed a man shoving the chainsaw into his pants and covering it with his jacket before walking out of the store. The suspect then left the area in a Ram pickup truck. As of last Thursday afternoon, the suspect was still at large, and police are hoping someone will be able to identify him based on the security footage.
Is that a chainsaw in your pocket, or are you just excited to see me?
You know what?
Right?
I wish it had been a live lobster without the thing on its claw.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't pull the cord.
Well, this has got to be one for the record books. A 103-year-old man and his 100-year-old wife celebrated their 82nd wedding anniversary with family and friends in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wow.
The couple, who both celebrated their birthdays in March, said they don't have any real secrets to long life and lasting love. However, the couple did say, we don't have no secret for that. Just be nice to each other.
Hey, if you could do it for 82 years.
That's pretty much a simple plan, if you ask me.
I think so, yep.
Well, an Arizona puppy is recovering after being carried away by an owl and apparently dropped on a local golf course. A woman from Foothills Animal Rescue who is fostering the puppy named Latte said the canine vanished during a bathroom break in her yard. I didn't hear a sound and the other puppies didn't bark. It was all as if she just vanished, the woman said. Well, Latte turned up 12 hours later at a local country club suffering from dehydration and puncture wounds. Veterinarians said the wounds answered the mystery of the puppy's disappearance. She had been grabbed and carried off by an owl. Latte is recovering from her injuries and is expected to be in foster care for a few more weeks before going up for adoption. I've heard of small animals being taken away by falcons or hawks or even eagles, but never an owl.
My oldest brother had a dog that they saw carried off by an owl.
It's so weird.
They can.
You'll occasionally read about bald eagles that will sometimes attempt to take a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're big birds.
Well, speaking of aggressive birds, police at a Michigan university are warning locals to steer clear of geese after a security camera recorded one of the birds attacking a pedestrian. Eastern Michigan University police shared a video to Instagram showing a person being chased and attacked by an aggressive goose in an otherwise empty parking lot. Police said the geese are nesting in the northwest area of the parking lot near the school's campus. The male goose was the attacker, and the female was guarding the eggs. And by the way, did you know geese are monogamous? Geese are very loyal birds. They mate for life and are protective of their partners and offspring. When a goose's mate dies, that bird will mourn in seclusion. And some geese spend the rest of their lives as widows or widowers, refusing to ever mate again. Isn't that amazing?
Two great stories there about matrimony.
Oh,
lasting relationships. All right, just be nice to one another and be loyal. All right, we'll take a break and come back, and Kathy's got some more stories. Lara's got his closing comments, as well as going to tell us about a charitable function that he was at today. So you are listening to the American Adversaries radio show. Once again, the big breaking news: Kirstjen Nielsen is out and Kevin McAleenan is in at the Department of Homeland Security as the president tries to secure the border.
With SRN News, I'm Gordon Griffin. President Donald Trump says Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is leaving her job amid growing frustration by the administration over the number of southern border crossings. The president said in a tweet on Sunday that U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Kevin McAleenan will become the acting head of the sprawling department of 240,000 people. McAleenan is a longtime border officer reflecting the administration's immigration policies. The Trump administration and Congress are beginning a new clash over President Donald Trump's tax returns. The chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee has asked the IRS to provide 6 years of Mr. Trump's personal tax returns and the returns for some of his businesses. On Sunday, White House Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney vowed Democrats will never see the returns and says Democrats just want attention and are engaging in a political stunt. This is SRN News.
Do you suffer from lower back pain? Do you ache worse after sitting in a regular chair? Are you one of 80% of Americans who suffer debilitating back pain sometime in your life? Then you need to try the perfect chair at Relax and Comfort. Designed after the NASA G couch for astronauts, the perfect chair offers you comfort that no other chair can. Sitting in an average chair places over 8 times more pressure on your spine than standing. The effects of this over time cause the average person to shrink 1 to 2 inches, but not with the perfect chair. It's motorized and has individual elevation for the head and feet, providing you with every option you need for a pain-free experience. So try the perfect chair at Relax and Comfort and ask about no-interest financing. Mention the promo code American Adversaries and get 50% off Maloof bamboo bed linens or essential oil sleep pillows all month. Relax and Comfort is family-owned and operated and has locations in Winter Park, Windermere, Sanford, and the Villages. Go to relaxandcomfort.com or call 321-329-3118. Get your perfect chair and enjoy blessed relief and unparalleled comfort today.
Attention HR managers and business owners. If you're not screening your new hires, you're asking for trouble. Hi, I'm Kathy Santamacino with ASAP Programs. Negligent hiring is on the rise and can be an employer's worst nightmare, leading to litigation and legal costs that could cripple your business. The average cost of settling a negligent hiring lawsuit is nearly $1 million, with the largest claim on record at $26 million. With Applicant 360 screening solutions, you will be able to perform comprehensive background checks quickly and discreetly, allowing you to properly vet incoming talent. Whether your organization is big or small, it's your responsibility to safeguard your workplace and protect your customers. Don't base your hiring decisions on a first impression and a resume. Call me today at 407-702-9511. Call 407-702-9511.
For most Floridians, our home is our biggest investment. If you are shopping for a new home, vacation home, investment property, want to remodel your home, or need to refinance your existing home loan, you need the very best mortgage professionals working for you to make your American dream come true. I'm Mariah Lee with Patriot Home Funding. And regardless of your mortgage needs, Patriot Home Funding has just the right loan for you. All of our loan products offer the lowest possible fixed rates. We don't charge annoying and expensive junk fees, and you get the very best service and care from me and the rest of our experienced all-star team. Contact us today for a quick, easy, and free pre-qualification. You can call us at 877-377-8123 or visit us on the web at myphf.com. At Patriot Home Funding, we finance the American dream.
Patriot Home Funding is a licensed mortgage broker in the state of Florida. NMLS 171699 and is an equal housing lender.
We here at the American Adversaries Radio Network are blessed to have great sponsors like Jerry and Janice Shepard, owners of Jerry's Mercedes-Benz Service Center. And if you have a Mercedes-Benz, you've been blessed to have them as your dealership alternative. With their professionalism and expertise and state-of-the-art technology and facilities, they provide the best of service at the best price. Now, if you have a BMW, you have the same opportunity to have that friendly and reliable and affordable alternative to your dealer. Just like Mercedes-Benz owners who have taken advantage of this option, you BMW owners have a real alternative to high dealer prices and impersonal service. Jerry's MB is located just off Alafaya Trail, just north of UCF. So take that BMW to Jerry's, where they treat you and your car like royalty. Visit them at jerrysmb.com or call 407-366-6499. That's 407-366-6499. Jerry's MB is a proud sponsor of the American Adversaries Radio Show. Okay, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, you got the American Adversaries here live on a Sunday evening. Once again, you can see and hear us on our YouTube channel. That's American Adversaries on YouTube, which you can access via our Facebook page. That's American Adversaries on Facebook. That was Lair just waving into the camera, Lair Adams. He is seated next to Aubrey Kahn. I am Christopher Hart, and then seated next to me, of course, is Kathy Santomassino. Jeff's on the bridge. And by the way, Kathy is the queen of our Facebook page, and man, what a job she is doing there. And thank you, folks, for taking advantage and checking her stuff out. Tell us, give us an example of something you put up there today, maybe.
Barry Soetoro, our last president.
Yeah, that's Barack Obama's. That was his name from his stepfather. That's right.
And it seems that there's a lot of evidence, we can't say proof, but evidence or speculation that he was the linchpin behind the whole FISA warrant and the whole thing with the Hillary protecting her and going after Trump during Trump's campaign.
Okay.
And we're by the way, Devin Nunes is handing down some referrals, I believe this week. There probably will then be indictments, but he's handing down some referrals on some people involved in the FISA disaster.
Right.
That's what it is.
This has to do with testimony and other evidence that they have found against McCabe, Comey, and et al.
Yes.
And once again, you can visit our Facebook page, of course, at any time. And Kathy is diligently putting stuff up there to keep it fresh and moving.
And we make it fun to be interested in politics. You have to laugh.
Well, frankly, Kathy, I hadn't heard any of this on the mainstream media.
You mean the mainstream media?
I haven't heard any of that.
That's
Yeah, it is mainstream. We try to keep it fresh, and the news cycle's so short. So if you only get there on once a day, if you get on there mid-afternoon, you're going to have more interesting, fun stuff to look at. I keep it coming half a dozen times a day into late at night. I'm not watching the late night talk shows. I'm usually posting on Facebook.
There you go.
Okay.
You got it.
What would Easter be, Chris, without bunnies? Meet Cocoa Puff.
Never mind.
Meet Cocoa Puff. He's a continental giant rabbit, to be exact. Cocoa Puff has been part of Lindsay Smith's family. She lives in Washington State for the past year and a half. Cocoa Puff doesn't, live in a cage. Instead, he hops around the house with his 3-year-old companions, or 3 and 6-year-old companions, Macy and Hunter. Cocoa Puff has developed an especially strong bond with the 3-year-old and is almost her size. Continental rabbits, in case you don't know, can weigh between 16 and 25 pounds and can grow more than 3 feet long.
Hassenpfeffer.
With some getting even bigger. And few families seem to know that a well-cared for rabbit or bunny can live 10 years or more. And contrary to popular belief, rabbits should not be kept in small cages or hutches. according to the Humane Society. Smith said her own family was surprised by how much care Cocoa Puff needs. Guess how much they spend on her food per month? Any guesses?
$30?
More than I spend on groceries. How about $200?
$200?
Cocoa Puff is a big eater.
That's a big rabbit.
And that's a lot of Cocoa Puffs.
I was
let me
gonna
tell
say.
you.
You gotta feed them the rabbit pellets and the fresh food.
Yeah, they like lettuce,
Fresh food,
tomatoes,
sure.
celery. And more than a half a ton of cocaine was hidden inside banana crates that were sent to multiple supermarkets in northern Germany last week. And nobody noticed until supermarket workers found them. We were just talking about Aldi, which is one of my favorite shopping destinations. Well, employees found a record number of cocaine packages tightly wrapped and hidden among bananas at 6 Aldi supermarkets and 1 Aldi warehouse in 2 German cities last Wednesday. Though German police have yet to disclose the exact amount of cocaine found, a half a ton of the drugs is worth around 25 million euros or 28 million US dollars. Germany's State Office of Criminal Investigation said Wednesday's discovery is likely the largest single amount of cocaine ever found in that region. And speaking of,
it was Aldi's bananas, right?
In Aldi's bananas, which
I'll go.
I need to get bananas. I'm going to check it out
Yeah.
tomorrow. Well, customs officials are used to seeing all sorts of strange items during international mail inspections, but hundreds of live tarantulas might be a first. When Philippines Customs opened a package shipped from Poland, of all places, they found over 750 live tarantulas hidden inside gift-wrapped boxes of cookies and oatmeal. Baby spiders were enclosed in plastic vials punctured with holes for air, while the larger tarantulas were shipped in clear plastic containers. This incident is the latest of a string of illegal wildlife training activity that takes place into and out of the Philippines, although the country's law prohibits the trading and possession of tarantulas without permits. The popular pets are illegally transported. The AP reports that hundreds of custom inspectors in Manila have intercepted wildlife, including iguanas, camellias, and bearded dragons. Can you believe this?
I believe
Camellias or chameleons?
Chameleons. The lizards.
I think I'd rather discover the cocaine than the spiders.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I used to manage a pet store, and they averaged anywhere from $20 to $30 per spider.
That's
well,
crazy.
Well, speaking of exotic pets, or in some cases pests, a team of 4 researchers stood apart from one another, arms outstretched, get a visual of this, clutching a giant python. And it takes a wide-angle lens just to capture the length of the beast they found in Big Cypress National Preserve down in the Florida Everglades.
Yep.
The group posted the image of the Big Cypress Facebook page Friday and are calling the catch a record. The female python was over 17 feet long, weighed over 140 pounds, and contained 73 developing eggs. That would make her longer end to end than a 1-story building or a 5-meter diving platform. The researchers caught this behemoth by using male pythons equipped with radio transmitters, which they say allows the team to track the male to locate breeding females. The goal is to remove the invasive snakes and to also collect data for research that will help Big Cypress develop new removal tools and learn the python's habits. Chances are they were someone's pet. And we all know California has a host of problems under Democratic leadership, but I bet you haven't heard this story. In some California state prisons, maggots and mice have fallen onto inmates' dining tables, where holes in the roof also allow rain and bird droppings to seep through and streak the walls, according to an inmate's lawsuit. The prisoner charges that the state isn't moving fast enough to repair deteriorating prisons. California has committed $260 million over 4 years to repair leaking roofs and clear dangerous mold at more than 24 deteriorating prisons, where the cost of overdue maintenance is pegged at more than $1 billion. The lawsuit is calling for swifter action and includes examples of the problems in stomach churning detail and actuality. I'm getting a visual. This is nasty. In 2 separate incidents, mice fell onto the dining table and scurried into a dishwashing area last April.
They were
and
served
then
for supper.
last October, a squirmy maggot dropped onto an inmate's food tray. The dining hall roof also attracts lots of pigeons. They poop, and some birds die. Then their waste is washing into the building whenever it rains. So if you're incarcerated in California, you may be exposed to some nasty stuff that may make you think twice about reoffending.
That's a good thing.
And then you still have the problems with the maggots and the rats. And
Yeah,
Right, but
exactly.
you're talking about crazy people.
Well,
How many of, sorry, all right.
Go ahead. You want me to finish? I have one more story,
One more.
Aubrey. Well, the grounds of an unusual home in an elusive San Francisco suburb that pays homage to the Flintstones family, complete with dinosaurs and a life-sized Fred Flintstone, of course, has ended up in the middle of a legal fight between town officials and a property owner. The town of Hillsborough is suing the owner of the Flintstone house, calling it a public nuisance. The 2,730 square foot house, currently painted red and purple with a giant Yabba Dabba Doo sign near the driveway, was built in 1976. It was purchased by Florence Fang, that's her name, for $2.8 million in 2017. Fang, a prominent philanthropist who was once the publisher of the San Francisco Examiner, doesn't live in the home anymore, but uses it for charitable events and entertainment. The house is being listed for $4.2 million. So if you're a big Flintstone fan, this is the house for you.
And it's not a typical house. It is designed to look like
it looks like a Flintstone house.
Right. And it's got statues
I
of
like it.
Barney and Betty and Fred and Wilma in front
And
of the
dinosaurs.
house.
And it's great.
It's
yeah,
got-
but like the big stone table that they ate on. I mean, and stone chairs and stuff.
Right.
Is,
So
It's authentic.
It's cool, but would you want it in your neighborhood kind of thing, right?
And that's SOS News for Sunday, April 7th.
How many of you can remember when mentally ill people were put into hospals and not
Institutions.
elected by Democrats?
Yeah, we used to institutionalize them.
You suggesting we go back to doing that, Aubrey?
Oh, yeah.
That is very cute. I've got a couple here. First of all, there is natural law, and then there is natural law. I'm a little surprised you didn't find this story, Kathy.
I always leave you a little time to fit in your story.
Did you hear about the poacher who got stomped to death by
I was going to do this story,
I thought you would.
but it was too long. But let me finish it.
Go ahead.
This poacher in South Africa was going to kill the elephant
Lion.
for its tusk because they get huge dollars. They can feed a family for a year.
Ivory.
The elephant stampeded the guy to death and killed him.
Stomped him.
And lions came along and finished him off.
They ate him.
Love it. Isn't karma a bitch? I love it.
So that poacher got what he deserved. Do you guys ever see, like in the, I used to see him at 7-Eleven. I don't see him there anymore because a lot of places don't even sell books. But you used to could go to the dime store, 7-Eleven or whatever, and they'd have these racks of books.
Mhm.
Public still sells them in some places. And a lot of them are these, I call them soft porn, but they're these novels,
Love
novels
things,
and stuff like that. Have you ever heard of Selena Montgomery, who is quite the successful writer of some of these? Well, Selena Montgomery is a pen name.
It's a man, I bet.
Well, you might be close. Some people might think that. Actually, Selena Montgomery is Stacey Abrams.
Are you kidding me?
Uh-huh.
You mean the politician from Georgia?
That's who I mean. And she is evidently quite successful at writing these books.
And she writes porn?
What I call it soft. It's,
soft porn.
Yeah. I mean, there's
romance novels.
The romance novels.
With
is
a
what it
little
is.
sex in between.
Right. Yeah. And she evidently writes some pretty spicy stuff.
Well, when
you got to wonder, where does she get these ideas?
When you look at her, when you look at the woman, you know she's not having a lot of sex. So chances are she's living through her characters.
It's all in her head.
Well, she does a pretty good job of it, evidently.
Is she Republican or Democrat?
No, that's
Democrat.
Stacey Abrams.
Democrat.
Oh, yeah, big Democrat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the next time you see a Selena Montgomery novel, just think about Stacey Abrams. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, Lair's got his closing comments. You are listening to the American Adversaries. Once again, the big news of today, Kirsten Nielsen out at DHS, and the acting DHS secretary is, up until today, the Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner by the name of Kevin McAlanan, something like that. Anyway,
Macarena.
There you go. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Dennis Prager live Monday, May 6th at the Holy Land Experience. Get your tickets now at theanswerorlando.com. Attention pastors, pre-register now for the annual Pastors Masters, Monday, April 15th at beautiful Heathrow Country Club in Lake Marion. And this year you could play with past NFL stars, joining and giving back to the community through the Retired NFL Players Association. Former Bear player Paul Blair, along with Pastor Herky Walls, formerly with the Bucks and Predators, plus former NFL players like Mike McBath, Don Nottingham, Ricky Shaw, Reggie Branch, and others. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com. The food is free. The golf is free. It's all about treating you, our pastors, active or retired, to a day away as we focus in on ministry and fellowship. Pre-register now at theanswerorlando.com and play with past NFL stars. The 2019 Pastors Masters, April 15th at Heathrow.
Folks, please help me welcome Jeff Bonning and Images Auto Spa to our stable of sponsors. Some of the largest purchases we make are the vehicles we drive. It makes sense to protect them. That's where Images Auto Spa can help you, whether you're the driver on the go or the do-it-yourselfer. They utilize state-of-the-art auto care products and techniques coupled with years of experience to deliver you the best possible results for the interior and exterior of your vehicle or boat. You'll find them at 4707 East Colonial Drive or on 434 just north of 436. Visit imagesautospa.com. Mention the American Adversaries to get 15% off. imagesautospa.com. Hi, Chris Hart here. You know, I always bring you the best companies that improve your life. Now, I want to introduce you to Dr. Ronald Trevisani of Lifetime Teeth Today, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon for over 20 years. If you need dental implants or oral surgery, this is the guy and this is the place to go. Receive the highest level of dental implant care from a trusted oral surgeon, and by the way, his patients love him.
I can eat everything, and I enjoy life much more. I really do. I don't have to worry about toothaches, fillings, or anything.
We had corn on the cob last night with a filet mignon. It made my toes curl up.
Dr. Trevisani, one office, one day, Lifetime Teeth Today. Multiple locations. Call 407-598-8141. Dr. Trevisani, Orlando's trusted board-certified oral surgeon. Show that smile again. Call 407-598-8141 today. All right, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time for one of the more popular segments of our Sunday night show, Lair's closing comments. Lair.
Hey guys, appreciate it. Hope everybody had a good dinner tonight or is planning to have one later. The subject today is one many of you will have no clue about because you were either too young or just never experienced a true covered dish supper. It is a practice usually involving a church, civic group, or any other form of a tight-knit community. Mankind has been breaking bread with large family and friends in attendance for millennia. People are comfortable sharing their food with others. When I was young, our church had several covered dish suppers where each family brought a special dish and sampled others' recipes. It was an opportunity to not only taste what your friends were accustomed to eating, but to share your mom's cooking with others. From biscuits to tuna noodle casserole to meatloaf, we all had bragging rights to our family's dishes. It was also a time when parents and children had a meal with the people you occasionally had contact with. These were friends that could become like a family when you broke bread together, even the ones you didn't get along with. I remember looking around the room full of people I had grown up with and feeling, for a moment, a sense of one huge family that, thank God, didn't sleep at my house. There was also that sense of decorum. You didn't act up at the dinner table at home, and definitely not at the communal supper. It reminded me of stories I'd heard in school where people in the past worked together and ate together for the common good. It's a shame, but you don't see so much of this today. The closest thing to a covered dish supper now is the food court at the mall and food trucks at outdoor events. There's nothing wrong with these venues, but they're not homemade food. Now, I don't know if church and civic groups have covered dish suppers anymore. I never hear of them. We should all hope it isn't due to food regulations that the government has to get involved in. Now, everyone understands some people have peanut allergies, gluten problems, and queasy stomachs, but that shouldn't stop the practice of sharing your bounty. However, I'm afraid communal dining has become a thing of the past. Without entertainment, the simple act of dining together seems almost boring, and shall I say, old-fashioned. Those of us who remember the covered dish days understand it's the difference between going to a buffet and Thanksgiving dinner at home. Some people are happy they don't have to clean dishes, but some enjoy the responsibility and the teamwork. Frankly, I think we need more covered dish suppers, and there's no doubt my mom's meatloaf is better than yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Lair. And oh yeah, I remember the cover. And he's right. We don't see that sort of thing anymore. And
Every Sunday, guys, I think of those Sunday dinners. And I really think what's happened is we've become such an automated society that unless it's fast food or microwave dinner,
if
that's
you had a
our
covered dish supper
version
today,
of.
people would bring food they picked up at the.
It's easier
at the
just
store.
to
At the
pop it
store.
in the microwave. And you know what? Back then, your neighbors would come on Sunday and they drop by and they'd bring like a casserole or
exactly,
or you'd have a dish and you'd share it and you sit out on your patio and everybody would. It was like a community dinner.
right. The food brought the people together.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of TV back then. Remember, we had like maybe 4 TV stations. We didn't have cable.
So you're bringing dinner for everyone next Sunday?
You sit around and you have a conversation.
Yeah. If you ever want to invite anybody to a covered dish dinner, invite Aubrey Kahn.
Yeah, definitely.
By the
He's
way,
a
they
good
used to
cook.
do things like that occasionally in Washington, D.C. back in the day. And it would be a way that the members of both parties would get together and they would share the families and everything. But that is remote now, distant past.
Now they just sit in a bar together and drink.
Well, and plus many of them no longer bring their families to Washington, D.C.
I wouldn't blame them.
Members of the House of Representatives, typically speaking, don't bring their families to Washington, D.C. If you remember when Paul Ryan, his family never came with him to Washington, D.C. Remember, he would sleep in his office on his couch and all this stuff.
Yep.
And that's okay, but in a sense, it's not, because it allows for those divisions to be.
Well, let me tell you what has erupted because the family unit has broken up and we don't have those family dinners, which were rituals. I mean, you'd get home at 5:30.
You had to eat together.
We'd sit down and have dinners together, and it was a ritual.
Yeah.
More people are living alone than ever before. We have more single people over the age of 40 living alone, and now there's an epidemic of loneliness.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
that is serious. And middle-aged men are committing suicide now at higher rates in the country.
And you know who
people don't have those family and social connections that we need to feel connected to each other.
Yep. And it is showing up in surveys that are being taken with teenagers.
Yeah.
You'd think that with their smartphones and all this other stuff that they wouldn't be lonely. But in fact, because they're using those devices, they're actually spending more time physically alone, which is contributing to their feelings of loneliness.
And then
Indeed.
you have
Okay.
social media too, which is
okay.
screwing everybody
All right.
up.
All right. Going to have to leave it there tonight. Once again, the breaking news is Kirstjen Nielsen is out as Department of Homeland Security. The White House issued a statement saying that President Trump wanted, and now I quote, the toughest cop on border security. And this alludes to the same things that Kathy and we were talking about earlier in the show as to why he was frustrated with Kirstjen Nielsen and why he has chosen the supervisor of the Customs and Border Patrol Agency to be his new acting Homeland Security Secretary. So President Trump shaking up his cabinet so as to get more assertive, shall we say, on the border to slow down this influx, as he calls it, invasion of illegals coming into the country. So, of course, we'll have more on this tomorrow night. Abe Katzman and John Barros will be with us tomorrow night. Abby Johnson, who the movie Unplanned was made about, is going to be on our show Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
So you'll want to tune in for that. Also, before we go tonight, I want to close with where we started. Young Marcus, who is a child who was slated to be aborted at the encouragement of his grandmother. His mother resisted. As it turned out, it saved both of their lives because Choices Women's Clinic discovered that she had extremely high blood pressure on the day that she was scheduled to have an abortion. If they had conducted that abortion, it surely would have meant serious medical complications, if not the mother's death, including with the baby. But because she came out, Choices helped her. There was an emergency C-section. Marcus was born at, I think, about 12 weeks, an extremely premature baby. He has survived, but he has some serious medical problems tonight. So please pray for Marcus and his mother and grandmother. That miracle baby has brought that family back together, and we would like to keep that beautiful story going. Please pray for Marcus tonight, and pray for our country and for our president while you're at it. In the meantime, Mark Walters, Armed American Radio, is going to follow us up here in mere seconds. So you still got 3 more great hours of live radio to go right here tonight. The American Adversaries. They Rays won, and Seth Rollins beat the beast for the championship. That's right. You got it. All this happening at WrestleMania tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
News, opinion, passion. FM 105.5, AM 660. The Answer. WORL. Altamont Springs, Orlando. A service of Salem Media Group. It's 8 o'clock.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Gordon Griffin. Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen resigning from the Trump administration. We get details now from White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
After months of enduring on-again, off-again criticism from President Trump, Secretary Nielsen is leaving the Department of Homeland Security. The president has long been unhappy with the increase of migrants coming across the southern U.S. border, which has put pressure on the Department of Homeland Security. On Twitter, Mr. Trump confirmed that Nielsen is out and that Kevin McAleenan, the Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, will take over as the acting DHS Secretary. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Fuel price analyst Trilby Lundberg says that the average price of regular grade gasoline has edged up to $2.78 nationwide, but prices vary widely around the country.
Right now, the highest average in our panel is Los Angeles at $3.75. The low is Baton Rouge with $2.37.
And Lundberg says that production issues are behind the latest increases in gas prices at the pump.
We have quite a bit of downed U.S. refining capacity for planned and unplanned maintenance ahead of the summer driving season, and also the rollout of higher cost, lower vapor pressure specs for gasoline for prevention of smog.
Trilby Lundberg of the Lundberg Survey. Law enforcement agencies and ride-hailing companies intensifying efforts to educate passengers about safety following the slaying of a University of South Carolina student who mistakenly got into a vehicle that she thought was her Uber. Experts say that would-be robbers and assailants sometimes pose as ride-hailing drivers, often at bars where people might be drunk and not paying attention. Uber and Lyft says riders should match the driver and the vehicle to information provided on the company's apps. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Do you need senior in-home care for a loved one and plan to pay for it yourself or use long-term care insurance? If so, then visit seniorhomecareorlando.com now and chat live. Visit seniorhomecareorlando.com now and chat live.
The Forgotten Children of Ukraine. 106,000 children in orphanages in a country the size of Texas. Find out more about the Forgotten Children of Ukraine that the media isn't talking about. Go to mission823.com and give. Go to mission823.com and give.
Live chat online with Alper and Eastry right now. Go to altamonlaw.com.
We share your values. We're the law offices of Alper and Eastry.
Hi, I'm attorney Karen Eastry, and at the law offices of Alper and Eastry, our goal is to be here and to always help you do what's best for your family. This includes legal support for all aspects of estate planning, probate, wills, and trust matters. At Alper and Eastry, we share your values, transfer of property, providing for your children, and more. You don't have to leave these decisions to your loved ones at one of the most painful times in their life. We can give you the inner confidence knowing that you are doing the right thing for your family. And you can always call me for a no obligation